to kind of be like, I'm interested in this thing. Pay me to tell you about this thing. It's basically
I
it.
love
I
it.
was like, yeah. So no, but so did
More
you?
money.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if you can get paid to do what you love, and I love talking, so it just was the best of both worlds. But no, it was
I love
cool.
that. Good.
So, did you do an English literature A level degree then, or was it something else?
English literature, yeah, English lit. And I ended up changing because it was with creative writing, but I really wanted to do a dissertation on Gothic, like the Gothic books that I was reading. So
Mm,
I dropped the creative writing part so I could write about Anne Radcliffe, so I could, like really immerse myself in her works and do
yeah.
stuff on that because I'd love to to have written my own story. Like I wanted to do like a ghost story and set in like the Lake District and things like that, which I ended up doing like in my own time. But I
Yeah.
don't. Creative writing is so subjective. I just don't think. Like, what if the professor just didn't like what I was writing just because he didn't feel it? You know what I mean? So I was like, you know
Mm.
what? An essay is so like a Gothic essay is like so much more, not safe, but for me personally, it interested me more. So yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. I guess you know where the barriers are because fundamentally, if you can argue a certain point to a certain degree, you know
Hmm.
you're destined for a great grade. Whereas you're right, and like this is the thing. So I did English with creative writing as well, but I did the creative writing dissertation, and that meant that we had to do two projects. One of them was an essay, and then one of them was
Ooh.
a creative piece. And I did my
Ooh.
essay on how blogging is a form of journalism. And
Oh.
my lecturer that was kind of helping me with it was a BBC journalist for 10 years, and he had
Wow.
no interest in blogs whatsoever. He thought that blogs were a complete waste of time, and it basically was just a year of me being like, no, they are worth your time, pay attention, kind of thing, and just
Oh my
showing
god.
him like all the different like blog styles and stuff.
Yeah.
And then by the time I actually handed my essay in, he was like, it's a good essay, but it's made better by how many arguments we've had over it. So,
Oh no way. Oh god, sorry.
but yeah, no, but actually it was because you posted your dissertation that I really wanted.
Oh yes, I remember that.
But yeah, it's
Sorry,
because I
I think
spotted
there's
your
like a
dissertation on Twitter that I was like,
yeah. Sorry, I thought there was like a little.
is it my
Probably a
internet
little
again?
lag with my. It might be just my thing. Oh, I think you. Yeah, no, I think you're normal now. Sorry, just in case you thought I was like
Oh,
ignoring
okay,
you for
cool.
like 25 minutes. Yeah, yeah, I think you're fine now. Yeah, I literally everybody was saying, like all of the critics were saying, like Anne Radcliffe is like not like a feminist writer, or like her heroines weren't like progressive or like the heroines of the genre kind of thing. And like
Mm,
that just like I had read The Italian by her and I loved it so much. So I was like, I need to argue this point that, you know what, actually I think there is an argument to be had where yeah, the protagonist in the Mysteries of Udolpho, who is Emily, she faints like 5,500 times due to like overwhelming sensibility and all of
mm.
that. But then Elena, well, I think Elena from the
However you want
Italian.
to say it. I'm not going to correct
How
you.
I was going to say, do you know? Do you know
No,
Anne
no
Radcliffe? Do you know
idea.
how she?
No, but we were talking about this with some people on the Wednesday one. I was one of those people that didn't realise Hermione was Hermione. I was a Hermy one. So don't trust me to pronounce anything.
I That's how I would pronounce it before the film
Mm,
came out, and then I was
mm.
like, oh god, I've been saying that wrong for like 4 years.
My parents never corrected me. Like my dad read me the first book, and then I would like read the others. My dad never corrected me. I was like, cheers.
His fault.
Yeah, all his fault. But yeah, so you were saying about Elena being a feminist
Uh,
heroine.
yeah, because like that came out about 4 years after the Mysteries of Udolpho, and when she like fainted, she didn't faint a lot. She only fainted at the start, and it was like more for like genuine concern and fear rather than
Mm,
just like fainting at the drop of a hat like Emily did. So I argued that there was like progression from Anne Radcliffe's writing from that one to from the Mysteries of Udolpho to the Italian, and I mean I got a first on it. I thought I did like really well on it, and I think I argued my point. But I think what the markers really loved was that because I get a little bit sassy when I'm like disagreeing with people and stuff. So like I was really sassy in that essay. I was like, this
mm-hmm.
critic is wrong because, and then I would like state my points and
Yeah,
like
yeah.
all the evidence. Like these are the receipts. This is why they're
I was just
wrong.
gonna say you got the receipts.
Yeah.
You're ready to go.
Oh, and I
I
had
love
many. I
that.
had many.
I
Honestly,
love
I love
that.
it. I
Things
love all of that. I love Anne Radcliffe's works, and I think they deserved more praise. To be
Yeah,
honest.
I completely agree. I completely agree. And I think it was really interesting because with Mysteries of Udolpho, I remember I went to the lecture, but the lecture was done by a slightly different professor at the time, and she was really softly spoken, and it was really hard to kind of like concentrate on what she was saying. So I then went and spoke to the lecturer that was supposed to be there but had been sick or whatever, and was like, look, can we just have a one-to-one about this book, because I have these opinions on it, but I don't know if I'm right, so can we just like discuss it out? And he basically was like, so essentially she's just surrounded by men and that overwhelms her. I don't know if you relate or not. And I was like, what? I was like, I don't know how I feel about this at all.
I
So
mean,
that was my
yeah,
introduction to Anne Rice.
I was gonna say, like, yeah, I would have been overwhelmed, but not
Yeah.
everyone would.
Well, like, this is the thing, is like I was just kind of like, and the way he said it, he was like, well, maybe you'll enjoy it, and I was like, just stop talking. I had respect for you before I walked into this room, and now I'm just confused. I love that. I love a sassy essay though. Love a
Oh,
sassy essay.
I miss writing sassy essays, so now I prefer to do like sassy vlogs and sassy videos. Now that's how I do it now. But
I love it.
anything to do with like not exactly prove, like I don't like prove, like I'm not that kind of person where I'm like just here to prove you wrong. I love the argument. I love the conversation that it brings. And just like getting a new perspective on things. Like I don't think anyone's ever really wrong about something unless it's like,
Yeah.
hate speech or something. You know what I mean? It's like,
there are some
yeah,
exceptions.
then they're wrong. But like when
Yeah.
it's like to do with like literature and things like that, it's definitely so open to interpretation, and it's why I love reading so much as well, and why I like vlogging and doing
Yeah.
videos, because I think there's just so many people who I don't agree with like my opinions on a book, but it's absolutely fine because I still respect their opinion and they respect mine, and it's like a beautiful relationship. It is.
Yeah, I love that, because I find that if people are all the same or have all the same opinion, I worry about not necessarily that I'm wrong or right, but I worry that, okay, well, what's the restriction on the conversation around it? So if I say,
Yeah.
oh, I really like this thing, and someone goes, me too, okay, is the conversation going to actually progress? Because we're just going to talk, like, it's great to just talk about the things that you like, but if you can't see fault in the things that you like as well, like you can be like, right, I like the art, not the artist, or I liked this scene but I didn't like that, or I liked the pacing of that, or I liked the premise of that but it didn't work. Yeah, but I find that
Yeah.
that's really fascinating when it comes to creative writing in particular, because having done the masters, it was really interesting to see how people took that feedback when you disagree with them, and if you tell someone you don't like their writing because, and how they respond to that, it's very interesting.
Very interesting, and I do see it like a lot as well. Like I've seen it recently on Twitter when people have like reviewed like an author's book or something, and then they see it, and I'm just like, it can be awkward. It can be awkward, but like, and I know a lot of authors don't mean to stumble on people's opinions and reviews and things, but like sometimes I feel like sometimes they do seek it out, and I'm like, oh, like you shouldn't do that. But I know a lot of
Yeah.
authors try to avoid it because, I mean, I would be gutted if like I wrote something and somebody didn't like it or they thought something was like wrong with it. But at the same time, I'd be like, well, it's out in the world now. There's nothing I can do about it. What
Yeah.
people would think about it. So yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's the same with like doing like the videos, like me and you, when we like are doing videos, like how are people going to respond to that as well? It's
Yeah,
oh
it's
god,
kind of nerve-wracking. So I mean, that
it
was
is.
that was the thing that kind of stopped me, because I started YouTube when I was like 15, and this girl at my school just bullied me for it. So I was just like, oh, obviously this isn't for me, and then just never started again. And then it was only because I was like, right, I'm buying all these books, I'm reading all these books. What am I gonna like? I just wanted I wanted a hobby, really. I just wanted an excuse to find people to talk about books. And then I was like, oh, I don't have to be the serious booktuber. I don't have to be reading 100 books a week. I can just dance like an idiot around a park and get a laugh, and that's going to work too. Which,
Those are the
yeah,
best kinds of videos when you bring out your personality. That is, I stan it. I stan it.
yeah.
And hell no to those bullies as well. Like, who do they think they are? Ugh.
Honestly, like, so it was really interesting. So, like, at the time, it really hurt, but there's so much that, like, in hindsight, I look back and I'm like, oh, like, I feel sorry for her. And this sounds really patronizing. She wrote me a hate poem because I had a blog at the time that had about 40,000 like followers, and she had a Tumblr blog that had like 18,000, and she wrote a poem about me, basically just like slating me, that got really popular really quickly. And I was just like, why didn't you just talk to me to my face rather than? It was weird. It was really
That's
weird.
awful. That is literally, that is scum. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
but
Oh,
yeah,
that's so mean.
she had her own problems. I was just like,
Mm,
fine. Thing is, I went to an all girls school, but I have lived surrounded by boys. So I played rugby. I've only got brothers. I've only got male cousins, bar one cousin that I hardly ever see, unfortunately. So I've just always been surrounded by boys. I've always had a very boisterous nature, and I think she just didn't like that. She didn't like the fact that I would come in with all of this energy and just be like, "Yeah, let's prat about." She did not like that at all. And I just think
nah,
I was an easy
her
target
loss.
then.
Yeah, well, her
Whoops.
loss because she missed out on a great relationship. Like, if she had have been like a good friend to you, that could have been something. You know what I mean? Like, oh God, I hate bullies so much. They're
Yeah,
so
but
judgy.
thing is, it's really thing is, I'm kind of glad. It sounds really bizarre. I'm kind of glad it happened, because then when as a teacher I recognize it and being like,
Mm,
okay, you're picking on this person because, and it's
yeah,
almost like you can see the reason behind it and you can do something about it. I think
yeah,
you can tell when a teacher was never bullied at school, because they just don't
yeah,
know how to like cope with that, or how to console the kid and being like, oh, don't worry about it, just ignore them. It's like,
yeah.
that sounds like great advice, but it's hardly ever actionable. So, but yeah, but no. Anyway,
Oh,
we've very much got off topic. So let's go back to Gothic fiction. And
oh yeah.
so,
So
what book are you reading this evening?
right. So this evening, I mean, I went through all of the middle grade Gothic ones I had been reading because I really wanted to read The Monsters of Brookhaven by Patrick Kenny. I got it here, but I read it, but I wanted to show because this was what I was reading for Gothtober as well. The
It
Monsters
looks
of
wicked.
Brookhaven. It's on. Ugh, you need to see the illustrations inside. Like this is like this. These are the characters. You do not see what they look like, just like the silhouette kind of thing. It's very Adam's Family, but there's like like illustrations like these flowers that like kind of eat people and oh my god, there's a really terrifying spread. Oh, I don't know where it'll be though. Oh, I've just found, oh my god, I don't know if I should show it. If you have do you have arachnophobia like badly?
I don't, but others might.
It's like as soon as you turn the page and then that comes to your face, it's
I was gonna say, because
literally,
you're gonna open it to that, aren't you?
yeah, and it was right in your face, and I was like, whoa, and then just like that, it's like a really great gothic middle grade. So if anyone
Love
needs
that.
something, that's a good one. But tonight I am reading Offspring by Jack Ketchum.
I
I need
watched your
to,
vlog this morning and thought it might be that.
yeah, I need to read it. Like, see, I need to give it back to my friend. I've had it since like May or June, and so I started it like at work.
Uh huh.
It's horrific. It is horrific, like gross, gruesome. If I start squealing during this live, you will know it's because of that.
I
It
can't
is,
wait.
but yeah, that's what I'm reading. So it's
I
like
love
about
that.
cannibals and in this very small Maine town, and it's well, the first one was like so isolating and just like the descriptions and stuff like were so horrific, and I can't remember what prompt I'm using this one for. Actually, it might be foreign country, um, because it's set in the United States.
It's
I
got
think it
bones
might
on
be
the
that
front
one.
cover too.
That and Bones, yeah, it might be that one too. But yeah, this is what I'm reading. I am
That's
excited,
cool.
but it's gonna make me feel sick. So
I haven't got anything that's like that scary, because I did my two thrillers first. So I had Yo Nesbo's Macbeth, which is a retelling of
mm,
Macbeth, but it's set in Scotland, and it's kind of like a drugs bust goes horribly awry, and then people just keep killing each other. But it wasn't nearly as dark and gruesome as I had been led to believe. My parents were like, oh, Yo Nesbo's really gory, you'll be really scared. And I was like,
really,
yeah.
maybe you're
I was
just
like,
desensitized.
wow, yeah. I was like, there was something else that I read. I was like, am I just dead inside? Because I read The Lying Game by Ruth Ware, and I was like, no, I feel nothing. Like
Oh,
this does nothing for me. I was like, yeah, I don't know. But so
ooh,
I've
I
got,
haven't read that one.
it's, yeah, I don't know if I can recommend it to you, because I loved the woman in Cabin 13. I really
Oh yeah.
enjoyed that, but this one I was just, it's a book. Exists like that's, but so
I'll
this is
skip.
the collection that you can
Ooh,
choose
ooh.
from. So we've got a variety. I specifically saved my middle grades. So I've got Uncle Montague's Tales of Terror by
Oof.
Chris Priestley, and
Oh, right, that's a good shout.
I've also got Vampirates, which I've been wanting to reread all year.
Oh
So,
my God.
but I've
I,
got others as well
I
in there.
haven't
So.
even started Justin because oh my God, I'm torn between them two actually. See, because like with Chris Priestley, I know he wrote The Last of the Spirits, and it's like this creepy retelling of a Christmas Carol with like spirits and like two kids getting whisked away and stuff. So I know Chris Priestley would be a good shout. I mean, in Vampires is a reread, so you already know it's good. Oh God, I don't know. Oh, I love the cover of Vampires as well. Like, I've just got a copy of it like a few months back, and I really need to read it. I've never read it before. I was gonna say if I had known, I would have started that one.
Oh, because
Oh,
they were together. But this is the thing,
yeah.
like I read it. When did I read it? It was after, not after uni, but like after secondary school. So it was at least 10 years ago that I read it. And I've reread 4 or 5 books from my teen years, but like pre-teen, pre-Twilight years this
Yeah.
year. And I've only liked one of them. Like only one of them has held up. So I'm like, I really want to reread it. And I'm really hoping that I still love it. Because I love the characters in this. It's so kind of like teen angsty, but before you're a teen when you're just very confused.
A bit
But it's
tween.
so good. Yeah, and it is, but it's twins Connor and Grace Tempest. So
Yeah.
it's good. But
I,
then also I feel like this is actually going to be kind of spooky. So yeah,
yeah, Tales of Terror.
I'll let you choose.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna say the Tales of Terror one because I feel like it's just so perfect for like I'm sure Vampirates is like can be scary and stuff. It has like a scary looking kind of cover. But I feel like tonight, if I'm gonna be screaming about this one, I need you to be
You
screaming
need
as
to be
well.
scared of it too. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, but we'll have to read Vampirates together then because
Oh, I'd
I
love
really
that.
want to start it. I need to start it.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I thought I had the second one, but I have the
mm,
third one, but I don't have the second one. So I need to find the second one and then, yeah.
give
But
it a
yes,
start.
let's read that together. That'd be great. I'd love that.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. And
Cool.
I think I might have a signed booklet from Justin Sumper I can send you as well. So I'll
Mm.
try and send you one of those in the post.
Oh, thank you very much. Oh, you're too good to me.
I am.
Cool. And so humble. I forget how humble and modest you are.
It's literally what you get with me. I do something nice and then oh my God, you're so
Like,
kind and wonderful. I'm like, yeah,
no,
no.
I know. Thing is, like, I was talking to someone the other day. Oh no, that was it. I text Karis earlier because she was looking for a particular book, and I was like, oh, I have it. I was like, and I'm not going to read it. So if you want it, she's like, oh my God, you're too nice. And I was like, I do it for the praise. You know, like, I love being told I'm amazing.
We are the same. We are the
Yeah,
same. Yeah, I do the same.
yeah. I'm like, just tell me I'm amazing, and I'll do nice things for you. That's how this works.
Yeah, we're twins.
Yeah. Love that. Love that for me. Cool. All right then. Shall we start reading? I'm gonna put at 50. Want to read for 20 minutes or 30?
Ooh, what time is it now? It's so 20 minutes will be. Should we say 20 minutes to begin with then, and
Cool.
then see how we get on? If that's all right with everyone in the chat too, as well.
Click on that was
Get it all set up, gosh.
it.
Oh, the joys of a live show.
I know.
Getting it all ready.
I think I've only before Gothtober I'd only done like 3 live shows, and they were all doing that drunk, stoned, and stupid game that I found very amusing, but was very strange to just be me and 2 other people just playing a game on live. Was very strange.
I love it. I love it. Like playing games on live. I did one with like for the Wonderland readathon. Well, actually, there was a couple of games, and I mean, I made myself look like a right tool in it, but because like it's like we had to act things out, and like we was 2 teams, and like you have to act it out, and the other person had to try and guess. And I'll never watch that live show back. Never. So I'm glad we're not playing anything like that tonight.
No. The strenuous I was going to ask was to pick my book. That was it. I wasn't going to be any more stressful than that. I've got a vampire quiz that's on Wednesday, And
Ooh.
then we're meant to be doing like a cosplay and crafts thing next Wednesday. And the people, they were like, "What are we doing?" And I was like, "Whatever you want to make Halloween wise." And someone was like, "Do I have to do face paint?" I was like, "No." She's like, "I'm going to do a gingerbread house." I was like, "It's not Christmas." Like, what is going on here?
Christmas in October, why not? My TBR ended up being Christmas
I
in
saw that.
October, so
It was your face. I think you did like a little zoom in when you picked it up and you were just like, I was like, I love
it
that.
always does it. It always does it to me. Oh, I see Tabitha Place is reading Scritch Scratch by Lindsay Curry. Yes, I love that one. I hope you enjoy it. Good ghost story, that one.
Yeah, we've got some great ones. So we've got Burial Rites, The Lie Tree. Excellent
Ooh,
choices.
I
Cool.
need to read both of those.
Yeah, same. Same. Oh, cool. Okay, right. Well, I'll try not to distract you for 20 minutes, but I make no
No.
promises.
No, same. I still find it like I'm not too used to, I mean, I want to like shut up for people who genuinely want to read in the chat, but like I still find it like I just want to laugh. I just want to
This
giggle.
is this is the thing. It's like when I did the first one with Keris. Out of the 2 hours, we read for about 20 minutes because we kept interrupting each other. Keris would be like, "Let me tell you about this thing," and I'd be like, "This is really weird." But then we just started chatting about all kinds of things, and then someone in the comments was like, "Are we reading anymore?" And I was like, "We've got 10 minutes left. There's no point." And Keris was
Called
like,
out.
I was like, "Just mute it. It's fine."
Oh, I love that. Yeah, Keris is fab as well.
Oh,
Love
isn't
Keris.
she? Love her.
Yeah. Right, sorry, I'll let you get back to
No,
reading.
no, you're fine. I haven't even started yet, so you're fine. Is it getting tense?
Well, there's been a little fade to black scene for some sexy times
Oh,
has happened. Also, weirdly as well, um, because I'm 50 pages into it now. So a couple's moved into a house and they have a baby, so I'm really worried about that. But the man was looking out at like 5 in the morning, and one of the cannibals, like she's like 16, 17, but she was standing there and she was like naked from the waist up and she had her hair like down here. God, I'm as soon as there's a baby involved, like the first book went actual like mayhem, and there's some scenes of it I can't get out of my head even now, and I'm just like really worried about what's going to happen in this, to be honest. But no, I got a good chunk read there. I think I got like 30-ish pages read there.
yeah. I
So
mean, same, but I'm reading a middle grade, so the writing is slightly bigger, so it's less of a feat, to be
I,
honest.
I
But
well, to be fair, I got like blank pages kind of thing as well. So like end of a chapter, and then there's like a blank page before going to
okay,
that. So again, not as much of a feat for me either.
I really want to show you though. They've got this illustration which just has like so many like little homages to other gothic novels. I absolutely love it.
Wow, I love that. I need to get this book.
Yeah, I think this was a charity shop find. We'll be able to tell because it'll have a £1 sticker in the front, but it might have been, yeah, charity shop. Love a
I
charity
love
shop find.
it.
It's so
Same.
cute.
I haven't been in like such a long time as well, and all of the great books that I'm missing out on, there could be something worth hundreds in one of these charity shops, and I just don't know because I haven't been in.
Yeah,
Oh,
well, have you seen the Lord of the Rings that I've got? That are third editions. They were a charity shop
oh,
find.
oh.
They're literally okay. One sec.
Are they right there? Grab him. Grab him. Oh, hi, Carrie.
So my mum found these. These were literally in a charity shop. They were £10 each. They are third edition
Ooh,
and they've got the original maps in them.
ooh. Wow. Oh, wow.
They're worth about £100 each.
Wow.
And yeah,
If
found
you're
in a
ever in a
charity
tight
shop.
time. Yeah, right. So like literally you could find the next, I don't know, first edition of something that's come out that you can't get anymore. Oh, I love
Exactly.
that. Oh, and
So
you need to
yeah,
put that map up as well. You need to like
this is
have
the
it
thing.
framed.
Yeah, that's the thing. So I don't want to pin it up. I want to put it in a
Mm,
frame, and I need to put it somewhere where there's not going to be direct sunlight because I don't want them to fade
mm,
either. So this room gets
mm.
a lot of light. But I'm hoping by March I will have been self-employed long enough that I can get a mortgage, and then I'll be able to find a nice place that I can put it in my new home that isn't going to get
Yeah.
direct sunlight, and I can be an actual adult and not live with my parents anymore. That'd be nice.
Oh, wouldn't that be the dream?
The
Oh,
dream. But
so are you doing like Tolkien along or like anything like that? Or yeah.
yeah, yeah. So my dad read The Hobbit to me. It was the first book he ever read to me. So the moment it was even remotely mentioned, I was like, yes, sign me up. I'm here for it. But I did the audio book for the fellowship for this month. And I did not, when I read it, obviously all the poetry in it, I read as poetry. But the audiobook, they're all songs. So every now and
Ooh.
then there's just this old man singing in a very strange voice, which I really appreciated. But that was quite fun. But
It
yeah.
sounds so weird. I think I would like it, but there's something that I read in it. Oh no, actually, this is a good thing actually because it's The Wizards of Once by Cressida Cowell, and it's narrated by David Tennant, and he goes all out for like like the rhyming stuff, and like
Yeah.
there's some fantastic like because it's supposed to be like this really cute little creature sometimes, and it has this big squeaky voice, and then he's just like the music comes on and like gets out of nowhere. I don't know how that works with the Lord of the Rings one, but I read them for the first time last year, like all of them. Apart from The Hobbit, I read that years ago. But the Lord of the Rings, I did, and like I remember getting to the poetry part, and I was like, "Well, this is interesting. This is I wouldn't have thought like this would have happened in the movies because that's what I'd seen first.
Yeah.
Um, but I might have to try the audiobooks the next time I give them a read. I think.
They're on script at the moment, and yeah, I was really impressed, but it was just bizarre. But I've got Wizard of Once as I think it's prominent villain. I think I've chosen it for
Oh yeah.
Believathon.
Yeah,
So yeah,
brilliant.
I've already
Yeah.
worked out my TBR months in
Oh,
advance.
excellent.
I
Do you
got
have any like?
excited.
Do you have like any scary books on there? Like, well, that you would
Oh,
consider like gothic or anything perfect for Gothtober
let's
as
have a
well?
look. Probably because that is who I am. That is.
Yes.
I'm going to find out because I've got it saved on my drive, so I can actually look at it on my phone.
Oh,
But
like,
yeah,
part of me wants to know everything, but part of me wants to wait for like your TBR video or something. So, like, don't
that's fair.
spoil it all, I guess. But I
No,
would
I'm
love
just
to
gonna.
know. Yeah, little. Yeah, spoil me for some of them, please.
Okay, so we've got the case of the missing Marquess, which would technically be because it's a Sherlock retelling. Tunnel of Bones is definitely gothic because it's got ghosts in it.
Yeah.
Um, but and possibly one more. I don't know if the Secret of Nightingale Woods would be considered,
Is
but I
that
think it's
Lucy
quite
Strange?
yeah,
Oh, I think
yeah.
it probably could. I think it probably could.
But yeah, so probably those three are the
Ooh.
closest. Yeah. And then I've got just random choice for audiobook. So I might make Wizards of Once the audiobook instead and then choose another villain.
Oh my god! Like seriously, the audiobook. I can't listen or like read the books now without the audiobook. Seriously, like and but to be fair, it would be great if you could like read along with it as well because the
Mm,
illustrations are fantastic and they're like Cressida Cowell does them herself and they're like some of them look chalk and it, some of it looked like pretty scary and gothic as well because of the whole like witches and things. So it's
mm.
like I think it would be a really good combination. If you can do that, if you can do it that way, don't like go all out and like have to buy things and stuff. Like try and
Well,
do it the cheapest way possible.
I want to because I've done so. I'm just counting this. Oh my god! I've just realised I've got less than 5 days left of a 100-day book buying ban that I was put on. So I'm
Wow,
buying
we've
all
lasted that
books.
long.
Genuinely,
Good.
like I'm so proud of myself.
I'm
So
proud
like
of you.
it was no gifting books, which I have. I've organised books to be gifted to everyone that's kind of done like a guest visit on Gothtober. So I've got like a shopping list, but I can't order any of them yet. And then I wasn't allowed to buy notebooks or anything that had book in it, no audiobooks, ebooks, or anything, because and this is how competitive I am. My brother dared me that I couldn't. He said I couldn't go 100 days without buying books, and I was like, put your money where your mouth is. So if I can make it essentially to the end of next week without buying any books, he's going to give me £100, which I can then
I,
spend on books.
I is this written down? Like, do you have a contract?
Yeah,
Because if
yeah,
I, okay,
we've got
yeah, my
witnesses.
good, my brother would literally say something like that, and then when it came time for him to, hand the money over, I'd be like, I didn't mean it.
Well, the
That's
thing
what
is,
you would
like,
do.
I basically like my brother and I are I've got two brothers, and we're all three of us are very, very competitive. And my brother used to smoke, and he used to drink like Monster, like the like taurine
Energy
drinks.
drink.
Yeah, all the time. And I did the same thing to him. I was like, it's such a stupid habit. I was like, I bet you couldn't go a month without it. And he's like, I bet I could. And I was like, all right, £100 says you can't go without it. And that was it. He quit smoking because he wanted the money. And that's how competitive we are. So when it came to this, I was like, right, I paid up on the dot, so you better pay up. And we've got witnesses. So yeah, he knows.
Excellent. I love it. £100 is so much as well. I mean, yeah, like it can be quite a hefty amount. Like if it was something that I did, it would be like, oh, £5 or something.
Yeah,
A
exactly.
hundred quid is
Yeah.
worth it.
Yeah, well, it's a
It's
pound a
worth it.
day. Like it's I had
Yeah.
go big or go home, because if it was anything less, if it had been like 20 quid, I'd have been like, that's only two books, so just gonna
Yeah,
buy the
not
two
worth it.
books. But yeah, but it was it's been really, I tell you what, it was really hard to begin with because I'd got
Mm,
into such a habit of when I wander through town. We've got three charity shops that are specifically bookshop charity shops, so I will just wander in and pick up a couple of things and wander out. That was really hard to like hit the habit, but now I've
yeah.
gone the other way where it's so close to the end that I'm like, what do I buy? Because I've got this long list, and obviously there were those 600 books that all came out on the 3rd of September, and I'm
Yeah.
like, how do I narrow that down? Like, I don't
You
know.
can't. The answer is you can't.
No.
And there was so much that came out on October 1st as well. Like September 3rd, October 1st, those 2 days are like
Mm-hmm.
were huge publishing days. And
Yeah.
honestly, if you worked in a bookshop like me, like you would not be able to do a book buy and bang. No,
No,
there's no chance.
impossible, impossible.
Hmm.
Well, I want to set up a subscription box, but for writers, because there's only one for writers that has like a workbook in it for them to do like little writery tasks and get books for writers specifically, as opposed to like a reading one. So I've looked at getting I'm hoping that by the end of this week I will know whether a book distributor, is going to allow me to sell books through my business. If that's the case, then no, there will be no more book buying bans ever again, because I will want all of the books. So
Yeah,
yeah,
fair. Oh my god, that sounds like such a fantastic idea as well, though.
yeah. Well, if it pans out, we'll
Yeah,
see.
fingers crossed. Oh
But
my gosh, keep me updated on that.
I
Seriously,
will. I
sounds so
definitely will.
good.
But yeah,
Oh,
so it's exciting. But
I'd
I keep doing that with my business. I'm like, oh, maybe
yeah.
I'll do this. Like, yeah.
Honestly, I love the fact that you do all of that though. Like you're like self-employed, you like do so much like yourself. Like I can imagine you don't have a day off, like ever. Like even on the days off, like weekends or whatever, you'd still
Mm,
like be thinking of things to do, and even all your hobbies as well, like your extra like curricular activities. Like
mm.
seriously, it's like there's never a day off, is there?
There really isn't.
Never a day off.
I don't know what I would do with it, because I've got such a short attention span that I
Mm,
really don't. It's not like I don't like sitting still. I don't mind it if I'm doing something,
yeah,
but I'm always thinking about whatever the next thing is. And I get it from my dad, because my dad owns his own business. I mean, both my parents do, but he's an accountant. So he's like, right, here's my billable hours. I need to do this. And then he'll just work across the weekend, because he'll be like, well, I didn't hit these targets, so I'm going to continue doing it. And I guess when you live with someone who has that kind of work ethic, you feel really shit if you don't match it.
yeah,
So there's always been that kind of thing, but also, again, it's the grammar school thing, and it's the fact that I really like what I do. So it's not it. I don't wake up in the morning and like, oh, it's a fucking drag to go to work. I
yeah.
wake up and go, oh, I've got all these things to do, and I've chosen to do these things, and I'm going to prioritize this, and then I'm going to go visit this person, and then I'm going to do that. And I don't have days off, and I don't notice until I hit this level of exhaustion that I'm like, I just get really sad, and I'm like, that's when I know I've overdone it. Right, let's just take some time off, because we're feeling really low. But yeah, so I end up kind of like running full speed ahead, and then just being like, I had a day yesterday where I was just like, oh, I don't know if I want to do Gothtober anymore. I was like, I don't know.
Oh,
But it was just, I was just tired. I was just absolutely
yeah.
exhausted. And this time,
I
like today, I'm like, yeah,
Well, of course, yeah, because I'm here.
exactly, exactly.
I totally get that though. It's like the exhaustion, like just saying like, oh, I don't want to do Gothtober. Like, it's okay to have moments like that. Definitely, I definitely feel that with like Believeathon and stuff. Like when I only did like the 2 week thing in May, and like so many times I was like, I'm never doing this again. Like seriously, like
Yeah,
I'm tired, I'm exhausted. I don't want to pick up my phone. I don't want to say anything. I don't want to read anything. I don't want to do anything. But then you kind of push past it, and then you remember why you do it, and then you're like, yeah, this is the best thing in the world, and then you're just
yeah.
like, yeah, I'm gonna keep going. But then I'm the same as you as well. I'd feel guilty if I had a day off where I like either didn't read, didn't blog, didn't plan something, didn't work. I'd feel guilty. Like that's why it's
Mm.
taken me so long to watch Gilmore Girls, because watching Netflix now is like a sin for me. So it's like
Yeah,
I can only do it in chunks.
yeah,
Oh
exactly. Like it's so bizarre. I used to watch Netflix all the time. So I used to
yeah,
watch when I was teaching. I'd watch it in the morning. So I'd wake up an hour early, because I need at least an hour before I'm sentient. Like that's why I
mm,
like my alarm clock, because it wakes you up slowly.
yeah. That's
Because I
why I
can't.
need it.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, so I'll watch like one episode, and I'll be like, I should be reading, like I should be doing
Yeah.
this, or I should be like this. Is the other thing, I've got a book that I'm meant to be self-publishing in February. I've not finished it yet, so like
Ooh.
need to do that. Need to finish that. So
Can
yeah,
you
just
tell me what
always
it's about? Are you
sure.
allowed to say what it's
Yeah,
about?
I mean, it's mine, so I can tell you as much or as little as I like, which is great. So I had this idea to do a series of 5 YA rom-coms, basically, because I really enjoy watching rom-coms, but I find reading them sometimes they're really, really tropey. So in the same way that like Gothtober was like, here's the readathon that I would want. These are kind of the YA rom-coms that I would want to read. And you've got the first one is the Bridesmaid Survival Guide. So basically, it's about a young girl whose aunt is getting married. And my first job was working in my mum's shop selling wedding dresses. So from the age of 11 to 21, I was getting up every Saturday and Sunday to sell wedding dresses to people. And you learn a
Oh,
lot about the industry. And it was just
yeah.
an excuse to kind of use that, but also kind of put my humor into a YA romance, basically. So that's the first one. And then there's going to be like a series of them of doing like different things. So like prom queen and freshers and things like that. And kind of the characters will grow up with each book a little bit.
Oh, that's so cool. I love the sound of that. And I saw you had Get Life Chloe Brown in your TBR list. I really enjoyed that. That was very, I wouldn't exactly say rom-com because it's like it kind of is but kind of isn't. I could see it as a rom-com, but like it's so good. So I feel
Yeah.
like, I mean, I really enjoyed it anyway. But it sounds like you would do something like that, but like in the YA kind of what it's because I think each book, I think that's the start of a series, and each book it follows different sisters, but like the kind of like growing up as the series is going along as well, kind of thing. So
Mm.
that'd be so cool. I know that's so exciting. You're gonna have to share like
Yeah.
links and stuff when it comes
Oh, I
out, but
definitely will.
also finish it.
Yeah,
Finish
no,
it.
I do. Yeah, I'm not far off. I know this is the thing. So like I don't know what you're like with your writing, but I'm one of those people where like I will kind of pants it for the first 3 chapters, and then if I hit 3 chapters of a project, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm committed to this project now, and then
Yeah.
I will plan out. So I know how it's going to end. I know it's how it's going to get there. I just need to get my ass in gear and just finish it. So yeah, I've got a deadline. That should help.
Yeah, but especially when it's like a self deadline, and then if you tell me what the deadline is, I can tell you on that deadline day, hey, have you done it? Because if you haven't, you're gonna have to give me £100.
Oh, okay. I don't have £100 to give you, but sure. So 22nd of November, it needs to be with the
Oh.
editor.
Oh, so will you be like doing NaNoWriMo and stuff as well? Like, will that like help you kind of thing? Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
definitely, definitely. And it's also a quiet time for my business as well. So I don't want to be writing anything in December. And I've actually given myself a Christmas to New Year break where I've put nothing in the diary, like intentionally, no YouTube. Like if I read anything, it's going to be for pleasure as opposed to work. I won't have any writing to do. I will have told the artist what I want for the front cover, and then everything else will just kind of be out of my hands until January again.
Oh, that's so exciting, though. That's so exciting. I love it. I love it.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm excited too. Leora from Books as Leo is going to do the front cover for me, so I'm very
Yeah.
excited because she did the artwork for Gothtober, so I love her stuff.
Yeah, honestly, the artwork for Gothtober as well is oh my god, unreal. Oh, I'm gonna have to start commissioning her then for like doing
Yeah,
stuff. Oh,
yeah, she's
seriously,
fantastic, and she's so nice
yeah.
to work with because I really like to just be like, okay, well, what do you think is going to work? And she was like, well, I have these ideas, and I was like, yeah, run with them, like just go with it. So I had when it came to what the commission were, all I said was that I wanted it to be 3 colors. It was going to be black, white, and red, and I was like, and other than that, I was like, you do what you got to do. So
Yeah,
yeah, cool.
go
No,
crazy
it's
with it.
exciting.
It
Yeah,
is, it
exactly.
is. And it's gonna start like especially now with like the way 2020 went, it's kind of something to look forward to as well. Like just like it's like a personal success, like you know what I mean? Like that just having completed a book in the first place is like a huge success, but then self-publishing it and then getting it out into the world, that's like something really to look forward to. I'm so excited. I
Yeah,
love stuff like that. I love
it's
it.
cool. It is. It's weird because like, so I've got another book that I'm querying that I would like to get traditionally published, but
Hmm.
I self-published obviously the collection of short stories in March of this year, just as lockdown happened. So my launch date was the day lockdown happened,
Oh my
which was
God.
really intense. And everyone was like, "Oh, that must have really sucked." And I was like, "Well, it did and it didn't because." It sucks because I couldn't share it with the friends and family that I wanted to share it with. But I had only really created that collection of short stories because so many times clients had said, can you show me some of your work? And I would have to say no, because it doesn't belong to me. But now I've got like this little collection of short stories. I'm like, yeah, sure. Here, read this. There's a whole different variety of writing styles in it. There's a whole, like, there's comedy in there. There's slightly sadder stories. There's longer
Ooh.
form, like all kinds of things. I'm like, just have at kind of thing. And then people were buying it, and I was like, okay, I've told no one about this. And then it turned out like Sarah had mentioned it. I'd sent it to a few booktubers because they'd been really nice to me when I'd started and was just like, here's a thank you kind of thing. And they put it in videos, and I was like, guys, this wasn't for mass market. I don't know what you're doing, but it was, yeah. So I think it's going to be even bigger, and that's really overwhelming. So we shall see.
No. Oh,
I'm
I
excited though.
have very high hopes. Very high hopes.
Oh, thanks. Well, you'll obviously get a free copy now that you've been so nice about it. So.
That's what I wanted. That's
That was
literally
like,
why I was thinking of, yeah,
yeah.
literally, like,
It
I
sounds
was
great,
waiting.
Hannah.
Yeah, sounds good. Like, it's when's it releasing again?
Yeah, I'm sending out arcs in January. So
Oh, oh my gosh! Like seriously, the fact like there's orcs as well. It's like it's so like proper.
I'm just trying to sound as professional as possible. Like it's all a
Yeah, I was gonna say
facade.
like cover artist, everything like that. When I self-published, it was literally just like, oh, what's like free on like stock image or something like that, and just like editor. I don't know an editor. Just spell check on Word.
Yeah, well, it looks fine. Like it looks fine. Yeah,
Yeah,
I say editor. They're people that were on my course, so they're kind of edited. There's two or three of them, and they'll do it for free. And they'll
right.
get a bottle of wine to say thanks, and then I'll do
Ooh,
the final proofread. But yeah, it is exciting. It is exciting, but it's not as professional as I'm making it sound. I'm just like if I keep using this terminology,
yeah, yeah. You're bigging it up for me now.
I'm just blagging. I'm absolutely just blagging. But yeah, I was gonna say because you had was it a full novel that you self-published, or was it just like a short story?
Yeah,
Tell
I
me
did
about that.
a. Oh my gosh, I did a few because like back in 2013, I thought I just want to be an author, but I can't. This is how stupid I was. I was querying agents for this. Like it's kind of like a young adult urban fantasy series, and I was querying children's authors. Like how stupid was that? I literally like I got rejections, but it was like this isn't really like what I'm looking for. Like I'm a children's thing, and this was like YA to like adult kind of stuff. So I was like, I'm obviously not ready for this. So instead, what I did was like I self-published it on the Kindle, and this was like back in like October 2013. And I was like, it did really well. Like it got like 5,000 in like the first week, and but that was like the free thing. As soon as like people had to pay for it, was
Mm,
like no. But like the free thing did well. So that was like good and stuff. Then I ended up uploading it to Wattpad, like the online like thingy
mm,
service, and it did really well on there as well. I was like, oh my god, people actually like it. But it was like a YA kind of horror, and but it was like really weird because like so the five people, the main characters, were like trapped in town called Lakefield View. But like they don't know that they're trapped in this town. There's like this villain who they don't know who was the villain yet. But it's like it's a place where kind of urban legends kind of come to life, and like there's killer clowns, there's stalkers, there's witches, there's it had like every it was like pretty much like a mishmash of everything.
that
But
sounds
they didn't
wicked.
realize that it was a mess. But like to be fair, like I wrote the first three books, and like the second book was like 120,000 words long, and the third book was like 100,000 words long. So I was like genuinely like invested in it, and like I got like halfway through the fourth, like writing the fourth book, and then I was just like I went through like this huge case of like like an identity crisis. Like I went through like depression. I was like, this isn't good. This is awful. Like, why am I writing this? I'm wasting my time. So I ended up like deleting them all off Wattpad. And like I shouldn't have done that, like because like it got like 100,000 views, and like people
Mm,
were like really like excited about it, and they were like, "Oh, when's the next chapter? When are you uploading and stuff?" But at the time, I was like, "I don't want to write this anymore." But I love it still. I loved it like so much.
mm,
Like I just went through something. I was like, I don't want to write this anymore. So I ended up like yeah, self-publishing the first three, and then I did do that creative writing module I was doing, and I wanted
mm,
to write that ghost story. I ended up writing it in my own time, and like I self-published that as well, which I think is still on Amazon, but like I just forgot to take it down because I only did it because I wanted a copy for myself.
yeah.
So like that's the only reason I put it through like Create Space on like Amazon. I think it's different now, but I put it through that, and I literally just like bought it for myself, and then yeah, I accidentally left it on, and then people started getting the Believeathon compendium and saw that like I was like the author of that, and then clicked
Mm,
on it, and then saw that I had some girls, and then people started getting that. I was like, it wasn't really for other people to read because it was just for creative writing.
yeah.
It's probably rubbish, but it's still on
I
there.
bet
So I
it
was like,
isn't.
oh,
I bet it isn't because, like, for someone that reads so much, because I find that you can always
yeah,
tell when the author reads a lot versus when they don't. But my only comment really is, you can get those published like privately. Like, you don't have to get Amazon to pay for like,
yeah, yeah.
because
But I
like,
was like, but I could use Prime because like I know I could have put it through and stuff, and like they could send like author copies and whatever. But I was like, I could use Prime and get it tomorrow, kind of thing.
yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Because like I'm part of like a business network for my company, and one of the companies that's part of the same network that's based shortly, like far, like 10 minutes away from where I am, is
Yeah.
called Orbital Print, and they do all of HarperCollins print and binding. So I sent them my dissertation to print and bind, and then I found a printer that's even closer, and he's now like I'm part of his network now. So when I had my books printed, I was like, they're professionally done. They've got like a velvet feel to them. He was like, do you want this? Do you want laminate or do you want matte? And I was like, I don't know what you're saying, but it all sounds magical. I just
I have one of each.
yeah. So I'm like, okay, now I know that for the next one, I want the velvet feel again because it feels so nice. And it just like people are like, oh my god, it looks so professional. I'm like, it cost me £3.86. So it's like, yeah, definitely would recommend.
Well, I'm kind of writing a middle grade at the minute. Well, not at the minute. I started it in March, and then I wrote like throughout March and April, and I haven't written anything since. So like I'd love to do that. Like I'm gonna have to like probably get more information from you like later when I'm ready to do that.
Yeah,
Well, that sounds amazing. I'd love that for myself. Just
yeah,
like
do it. Fuck it, do it. Well, if you want, if you ever want to do some writing sprints together,
I might
let's
need to
do
do
that.
that. Yeah, I might.
Maybe
I
then I'll actually finish
genuinely.
it.
Yeah, like I was thinking maybe NaNoWriMo, but then I was like, how can I do Believeathon and NaNoWriMo at the same time? It's
That's
just
intense. No, not if
I
you're
couldn't do it.
hosting. If you
Oh
were,
God.
yeah, no, that's a lot. I don't think I could have done. If NaNoWriMo was this month, I'd have just binned it off. Like it wouldn't happen. That's why I was like, no. And the only reason I've kind of decided that I want to self-publish in Feb because it's the Saturday, the 14th of Feb, like so Valentine's Day is a Saturday. So I was like, I'm going to launch it and then I'm going to go out with my friends and celebrate. So, because my birthday is 2 days before. So I won't be able to randomly celebrate on a Thursday morning because that'd be weird. So I'm going to go out on a Saturday instead.
That would be an intense week for you.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm like, oh, I'm an adult now. Let's just, no.
Wow.
I'll be
That's
29.
adult now.
Wow.
Well,
I'm
that's
still
fine.
going to go.
Literally, I mean, it's fine though because like I'll be 29 like 3 months after you, so it's like fine. We're like literally the same age.
Yeah. That's why we're so similar. We've just got on the same wavelength.
1992 babies, man.
Best year to be born, honestly.
Literally. I feel sad for anybody who wasn't born in 1992. Sorry, anybody who's watching, but 1992 rocks.
It was the best year. The best year.
Wait, I don't remember anything from that year, but yeah.
No, well, we were born. That's all that matters.
Wait, that's it. That's it. And Aladdin came out by Disney, and that's all we need to
That's
know.
true. That's true.
Oh, wait, there was Home Alone 2 as well. I was thinking Hocus Pocus, but that was the year after.
That was, yeah. Right Said Fred, Too Sexy for My Shirt was #1 the week of my birthday. So
what a fabulous #1. Yeah, and you are too sexy for your shirt as well. That is apt. That is apt. I want to know what mine is now. Oh my gosh.
You need to look it up. Yeah, look up what the #1 was. I can't wait.
Can you just Google like what was #1 for my birthday?
Yeah, I think you literally just Google chart #1 and then your birth date and see what comes up.
UK #1. Okay, Playback FM has that kind of. Oh, okay, right. I think this might be a good one. Okay, right. So May 7th is my birthday, in case you need to know.
Actually,
and then,
yeah.
Sorry.
I was gonna say I've already written it down. Don't worry.
I have not heard this song.
What is it? What's the title?
Please Don't Go by KWS.
I don't know that. I probably would hear like. I don't know.
Maybe there's another link for #1 pop song, so maybe.
Yeah, narrow it down.
Yeah, because like I'm all about the pop. So let's try it again. May 7th. Because I'm gonna say like that's a really crappy. And is that American as well? It might be in America. I wonder what the UK one is. Okay, right. This one is Jump. Oh, Jump by Crisscross.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Okay, that's not too bad. That's the #1 pop song.
You look kind of annoyed about it. You're just like, yeah.
I wanted it to be something like "I Will Always Love You" by Whitney Houston or something. Something like truly iconic. Or like maybe I've got like #1 movie now. I wonder what the #1 movie is. Basic Instinct. Oh my god.
There we go. There it is.
That is okay. I appreciate that one. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I literally want to do the leg thing now as well.
Yeah, it's just like the.
Yeah, but I can't do that right now. I'm not that flexible, and I might knock the laptop over.
No, no, I
Yep.
would, because like, yeah, I'm not gonna risk it because I think I can't remember which live it was. I was sat here, I was very quiet, and then all of a sudden, I just dropped all of the books on the floor, and oh, it must have been for the scavenger hunt. And what was really
Oh,
funny is we were reading, and I just saw Carolyn just like look up and was just like, "Yeah, just ignore me. I'm just making a mess."
uh,
Useless, absolutely useless. But there you go. No, I'm excited for you. I'm excited. Basic Instinct, nice.
no, honestly, and Sharon Stone, what a woman!
Wow.
I
Have you
want
seen
to
the
be her.
interview with her and Sebastian? Is it Sebastian Stan's name? The guy that plays. He's in like the
Winter
Avengers.
Soldier. Winter
Huh?
Soldier, is that him? So, with
Yes.
the Winter
Yeah.
Soldier, yeah, yeah, that's right. Yeah, actually, it's Sebastian Stan. Yeah, I think that's
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
He did. I think it's on the Graham Norton show where the two of them are there, and he basically says, "Oh, so could you flirt in Romanian? Like, could you chat up Sharon Stone?" And he turns to her, and Sharon Stone just goes, "Will you bite me in the neck?" And she's so like deadpan when she says it that Sebastian Stan is just like, "What is going on?" And I'm like, "Yes,
Oh,
yes,
I stand that woman. I need to
love
watch
her
this
so
interview
much."
now.
I'll find the link
See,
and I will send it to you.
yes, please. It's so funny you mentioned Graham Norton because yesterday I did an interview with Elle McNichol, who was like a middle grade author, and she said, "You're like the Graham Norton of middle grade." And I was like, I love that. That is
Iconic.
what a
Yeah,
compliment.
yeah,
What a
fair enough.
compliment.
Yeah, I think it's true because you just like watching your interviews and stuff. You just settle people, but it's light and humor. Yeah, I think that's a spot on
You just
description.
gotta smile and yeah, I've been loving doing like I've done so many live shows like just in general. I love doing them. It's like just chatting and just being me and just being legs.
I was gonna say, I was like, I know we had like hot drinks and stuff, and part
Oh
of me
yeah,
was
mine too.
tempted to get the alcohol out because any time you do a drunken live,
Oh,
I die with laughter. I'm tearing up
it would
now just thinking about it.
it would last until the last one I like proper drunk live was 8 hours long.
I loved it. I loved it. It was long enough that I got drunk and then sobered up again watching it.
Yes,
It's so
same.
good. So good.
Same. Oh my gosh. If you don't mind me taking the laptop to the toilet now, then great. I'd be up for it.
Yeah.
Twenty.
He was so quiet about it, and I was like, he has, hasn't he? He's just like,
Yeah.
it
Flushing in
was
the
the loo
toilet.
roll that did it. I just
Yeah. You got to wipe.
obviously dying. Absolutely
Uh,
love that.
yeah.
Love that.
Yeah. But like, I'm now at an age now where, because I have been drinking like every Friday night doing these interviews now. But like I'm trying to like calm that down because like I can't bounce back the way I used to. So
No.
I'm getting too old, man. Getting too
Oh.
old. Too old for this rubbish.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. So I'm quite lucky. I think it's genetic. My dad and I don't get hangovers, so it doesn't matter how much we drink. We just don't get hangovers. But the problem is, I think I burn through alcohol quite quickly. So I get drunk really quickly, and then I sober up very quickly.
Mm,
And if I go on a night out, I am the mum. I'm the one that's like, right, everyone,
no.
let's get something to eat, shall we? And then I have to like hold people's hair and stuff like that. And I'm just like, so that for me is like, oh, I can't do this anymore. I'm too old for this shit. But other than that, drinking in my own home, fine. I don't have to look after
Oh, I love
anyone. It's
that.
my home.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't have to see anyone into a taxi or anything like that. Oh my gosh. There's nothing worse as well than being the designated mum too. Like
Mm,
I was always like because I was a mature student at uni, and so I was like older than everyone, just by a couple of years really. But
mm,
people would kind of when would go out because I don't often get hangovers because I don't mix my drinks and stuff. Like
mm.
I avoid like doing things that I know I'll get a hangover from. So, but I do get hangovers. Like, oh God, I feel like I've had ketamine or something. But like, seriously, it's like when I would be out with like all of like these younger like people and stuff, I would literally just automatically feel like the mom or or the
Mm.
dad or what I
Yeah,
mean. So it's like it
yeah.
wasn't fun. It wasn't fun. I
No.
just wanted to drink and enjoy myself.
Yeah. We had a girl that we nicknamed her the General because she wasn't the mum of the group, but she would be like, right, we are going to this club first, and then we're going to that bar second, and we're going to this. And if she disappeared, trying to find her was a military operation. And that for
Oh,
me, I was like, I think that was during uni. Third year, I was like, I'm not going out because I don't want to have to go and look for you again.
That was literally your night out entailed of pre-drinks, clubbing, find your friend. That
Yeah,
was literally
yeah.
like that's how the every time it was just like, no, I want to skip that.
Yeah, and like the thing is, I am awful for being that person that goes, I've had enough, and I'll just walk home. The amount of times I've had like voicemails from people being like, "Have you left?" I'm like, "Yeah, I did tell you. You just weren't drunk enough to realize." And I didn't tell them. I just left. Like,
I should have
really
done
bad
that.
that.
There were so many times when I was like, oh my God, I just want to go home now, but I would still stay.
Yeah,
Um, Especially when I was with like my housemates and things, and I would just like, oh, we'll just get a taxi later. But my like, I'd usually like by 2 a.m. I'd be like, okay, I want to get home now, and everybody else is like still out by five, like, till 5 or something. And sometimes I'd have work at 6 o'clock in the morning. So
yeah,
I don't know how I did it. I don't know
no,
how I did it. Oh,
yeah,
glad
no.
it's behind us.
Yeah, definitely. Much
Drinks in the
more
house.
mature, sensible years ahead, I'm
Hmm.
sure.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I'll believe
Glass
that
of
when I see it.
prosecco. Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely
no,
not. I'm
classy.
still gonna have my glasses of prosecco every
Yeah,
Friday night.
love that. There's nothing
Oh,
classier, honestly.
and I'm a classy lady.
You are.
All sass, all class, and a whole lot of ass.
I was gonna say, I was like, there'll be something. There it is. Yeah, there it is. I've still got the iconic and accidental image that I made. I was looking through my Canva the other day, and I can't remember what video you made that it was like iconic and accidental, but I'm almost 100% sure it was a drunken live of some description.
And it was a what? Is it picture of you? A picture of me?
No, it was a direct. It was something you had said in a drunken live. Was like,
Oh,
I'm iconic and accidental, and I think, oh, I know what it was. It was the Scooby Doo when you did your Velma, because I did it in the Velma colours, and I was just like, yeah. And now we need to add
uh,
all class and us.
oh yes. Okay, yeah. I think I remember that now.
Mm. You're just
Yeah. Well,
so quotable, honestly.
oh, thank
Right,
you.
you're welcome. Right, let's read some more before I suck up to you anymore.
Okay, yes,
Just
please. My
too
head's gonna
many.
get too big. Too big.
Too big. Do you want to read for another 20 minutes?
What time? So it's
It's
oh yes.
exactly the same as last time. We've talked for that long.
Wow. Yeah, 20 minutes it is, and then that'll take us to what 10 past, and then last 20 minutes talking.
Good.
Sounds good to me. Thanks everyone for your patience.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I wonder how many have just muted or just gone, this is too much. I don't care.
Well, we've been so insightful, so I feel like people have learned a lot from us. To be fair,
Yeah. And if they haven't,
100%.
then they're just, they're missing out. And they've
They are.
misunderstood.
They are. They need to. Yeah, yeah. They need to just just sit back, relax. Enjoy the night. It's what Saturday now. Oh my god.
Oh, I know. Have you got any plans for Sunday?
No, I'm off work. I was at work today, and then I'm off work tomorrow. But I probably just like order in, watch something on the night time. I might try and read some more of this tomorrow, but it's not looking likely. I've got an Outcrate Junior unboxing to edit. I did Morticia Adams, but it wasn't like it wasn't. I say I did Morticia Adams. It wasn't like anything. I just reused a wig, and then I had my Maleficent dress put on backwards because I can't afford to like keep buying these costumes. So I was like, I just need to use what I've got.
Yeah,
So it's
that's
like
fair.
a makeshift Morticia Adams.
That's fair. I don't know if they're ever going to do a Roman one, but I've got a Roman costume that I can donate to you, which is essentially just a dress with a cape on it. But I'm too chubby for it now. But it would probably fit you if you want. If you want to add to your costume, it's either that or it's going in the
Ooh.
bin. So
There might be some kind of need for it in the future, maybe.
who knows? Who knows? But yeah, no, I love because the things I'm not even interested necessarily in the products and stuff. The costumes that you do bring me back to your content every time. Like it's so cleverly done. 10 out of 10.
Well, I haven't been doing as great lately. I don't think I've ever topped Velma, in my personal opinion. I don't think I've ever topped her. But nah, it's like it's so much effort and so much work. So like now it's like getting towards the end of the year, and I'm like, I'll just throw this on and throw that on, and like just pretend. And I'm like, whatever I tell you guys, you'll believe it anyway, so it's
Mm.
fine.
Yeah, that's fine. Thing is, now you've got the green screen that you can just be
Oh,
like, yes, I'm Morticia Adams because it's obviously the house behind me.
yes, like, or I'll do like some finger clicks and you know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, yeah. So it's like, I just will believe it.
yeah.
But yeah, the green screen has been the bane of my life. I mean, great, but like just because of the effort that I have to do for it, I'm like, damn it, I've put myself in a hole now because now I've done it the once, I have to do it all the time.
It has to
So
get bigger and bigger every time. Yeah, I mean, we've got a green screen that I don't use because I can't be bothered to set it up. Like it, because obviously you've got to have like the bar at the top that you then peg it to, and I'm too short. I can't reach, so I have to get my brother to do it,
no.
and he's got a life, so he doesn't want to do that.
Well, you know what I do? This I don't know if you have one of those like windows because like my window, it has like where the window curtains. I don't know
Mm,
what they're called there. The curtains like what they hang from.
mm,
So it's like a bar, and then the curtains hang from that. So I just like on one side, I put the green screen. I take off the end of the bar, and then put like some of the green screen and put the bar back on, so like holds it in place, and then do it on the other side. It's literally just like that's what I do. It's like just a quick little makeshift kind of thing. I can't like peg it on anything really, but I just like I put on my curtains and that works. So like
that's not bad
if you
shout.
can do that, yeah, that might help.
I might be able to. I mean, the problem is, so like where we are up here, I'm basically in the attic, so we've got eaves. So that is where my
Ah,
wall is right there. So like,
oh
I don't know if you
wow.
can see. So it's literally
Oh
like
yeah. Oh,
um
cozy though. Very cozy.
snug. But yeah, so I can't. It ends up obviously bringing it forward, and I
Mm,
don't have, because we're 4 floors up. I don't have curtains up here. One, because
mm,
when this room was redecorated, they never put the bar back up, so I just couldn't be bothered
mm.
to put the bar back up. And because no one can see in, like I've walked past so far because of how high the window is, you can't see
Yeah.
anything. So I've
So
just
it would be
never
no
bothered.
point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we don't have, but I might be able to do it in my parents' room, which means I'll just have to wait for them to leave because that would be weird if they're just walking in and I'm in my, don't find
Yeah.
me with my green screen.
They just want to go to bed. You're there, just
Like
doing your own kind of element.
filming. Well, things like we've got my dad's office has all the bookshelves in, which is fine when they're away because basically they've got like a holiday home in Wales that they spend most of their time in. And obviously during lockdown they were there, so that for 19 weeks I had this house to myself and it was great.
Wow.
But now I have to check with my dad that he's not zooming or busy if I want to get books from that room to include in a video. So that has
Yeah.
scuppered filming time because I'm like, can you not be so busy because I need to get to my things. It's a very
That's why you
first
need your
world
own
problem.
place. Yeah, no, I totally get it. Like, it's why you need your own place. I always have to check, like that no one's here when I do my big outrageous stuff. Because can you imagine me belting out "Does your mother know" from Mamma Mia, and like my mom's just like trying to eat her tea. So I'm just
Do
like,
you not?
nah.
I thought you had your own place. Is that you living? Do you live with your parents as
I,
well then?
yeah, well, just my mum. I did
Oh, okay.
have, and then I did this job in 2018. It was like a summer job in like North America and Canada. And then when I came back, it was like, oh, it's just like this whole financial thing. So it's like I need to like
Mm,
come back home just for a few years, just to sort myself out. But like, again, like things just kept happening and like financial
yeah.
situations. So it was like I need to leave, but I keep getting stuck. And oh god,
Mm.
but I'm hoping by 30. That is my dream by 30.
Same. Yeah, I did. I mean, to be fair, like when you say we're twins, like it's eerie because that is exactly the same.
Literally.
But rather than going and doing a camp thing, I did my masters, and
Mm,
I decided that yes, I was going to give up this very good job, give up my flat that I had, and and then yeah, when I came back, I was like, oh, I've got no money. Can I move back in, please? I've got
I'm in a lot
nothing.
of student debt.
Yeah, yeah. I'm bringing you debt. That's all I have. Can I give you? Can I give you that?
Yeah,
And my dad was like, oh, go
yeah,
on then.
Paul. Oh, what a good dad, though. I
Thing is,
love
he's so
him.
like my dad. We had this running joke. So I had a really shit time at uni. I loved the course and I had really good friends, but I did not have a single set of flatmates that were good. Like every year, it got steadily worse. So the first year, there were two of my flatmates were sleeping together and lying to everyone about it, and they drunkenly tried to kick in my door once because they were stealing stuff from my room, and I'd put a lock on it. Second year, my flatmate turned out to have a cocaine habit she couldn't quite control and a boyfriend who was a borderline sociopath. And then in my third year, I moved in with 5 Irish Catholics who didn't like the fact that I had a bisexual brother or the fact that I was an opinionated feminist. So wasn't good. So I was
I would,
coming home every single weekend. My dad would be like, she's back. Like, why? Why are you in there?
they thought they had a break, but what? How long did you last with those Catholics?
So it was all right because it was in my third year. So once the lectures were over in February, March time, I pretty much moved back home. So by the time my dissertation was done, in May, I'd already moved back home. They were actually, it was weird. So there were 7 of us because it was student housing. There was me and there was a sports science student who weren't Irish Catholics, and then 5 Irish Catholics lived with us. And 2 of them were really lovely and were very much a case of, yeah, I'm Irish Catholic, but you don't have to be. And then every now and then it would be like a little thing. So like one of them, I got on really, really well with her up until the point where she told me if she found out that her son was gay, she would disown him. And I was like, what? What?
Yeet.
Like, I just can't. Yeah. And I was just like, the thing is, I'm argumentative, and I'd be like, but why? I can't fathom that. And I also didn't like the hypocrisy that they were obsessed with Towie, and they didn't mind the gay people on there because they weren't related to them. And I was like, that's not how people work. That's not how
That
that
makes it
works.
worse. That makes it even worse that they could have like some kind of connection to them and not their own flesh and blood. Like,
Yeah.
you've given birth, or like you.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, you've raised this person, you love this person, you've protected this person, and this person is going to love, respect, and protect you back. But because of who they love that isn't you, you're going to disown them. And their argument was, well, it's fine because it'll never happen. And I was like, but what if it did? Like, part of me was like, do I stay in contact with you just in case you have a child? And then I just secretly message them and say, I will adopt you.
Oh
If
yeah.
like I will take you in. Like, I don't want kids of my own, but I'll take you if you need, like, because I just couldn't fathom it. And we used to get into rows all the time, but what killed me is they had no sense of personal space. So I had the smallest room, and I had the boiler in my room, which meant I couldn't have a wardrobe. So what I had was stacked boxes with my clothes and stuff in. And the door would kind of open in and then back against the boiler. So if you came into my room, you had to be really careful not to like swing the door. And this girl came into my room, sat on my bed, and went, I find you really intimidating. And I was just like, not enough not to give me personal space though. So we need to work on that. I'm going to try and be scarier.
Yeah,
But,
you're doing something wrong.
yeah. Well, obviously, I'm too nice to you. Let's work on this.
What can I do to be worse to you? Yeah, I totally get that.
Yeah.
Well, just come in your room and just, oh no, gosh,
But I
get
was like,
out.
that's the least. That was the least. I was like, that's fine. To be fair, like
Oh,
like I said, out of the 3, they weren't even the worst.
oh
So,
my God. Like,
it
I
was
would have
amazing.
loved to have lived with you during uni. It would have been fun.
Aw.
It
Well,
would have.
maybe in the future. Maybe we'll get a place together in the
Yeah.
future.
And then just like crash some kind of uni and just pretend we're students.
Yeah, we could get away with it. We know
Yeah.
students. We could totally pass as students.
Yeah. Yeah, we still look 18. It's fine.
Yeah, of course. Just a lot of foundation on and no one will know.
Yeah. And I'll dye my hair so you can't see the greys.
Oh, don't even. Like, mine are all along here, which is fine up until I put my hair into a ponytail, and I'm like, oh no, I'm bald.
Oh.
Oh, I don't mind it really.
No.
We should probably start reading. We've talked 10 minutes of the 20.
Okay,
I don't care. I don't mind.
Yeah, as you said with Carrie, only got like 20 minutes read. I feel, yeah.
It's live reading only in name. Only in name.
Yeah, people came to see, you know, the people, the people.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I don't even know if I want to read now. I'm just.
Yeah. I was just like, because I'm anticipating something, and I'm just like, so the first book off season, right? Like, it was so horrific and like such a like horrible, gruesome, nasty way. You know what I mean? But it was like, it's what I expected, so I liked it for that. But it's like not something you like. So like, I really do want to read this, but what I'm expecting, and it's just not great. It's like, it's like torture porn kind of graphic. You know, like in like a horror movie sense. It's like,
is it along like the Saw lines as opposed to like Scream?
Yes, but like like not to like in plot line, but like in the amount of like gore and like just disgustingness. Really, it's like that's the kind of stuff. I mean, definitely in the first one. Like so far, I mean, there was a death straight away in this, like very gruesome death, and it was by children, committing the death, like the murder, children, and like that's the kind of that is the kind of book series this is. Like, I think there's
Mm,
three, and this is the second one. And I'm just like, I kind of, I'm so conflicted. Like, I shouldn't like it, like, and I don't
yeah.
like it, but like, I appreciate what it is
It's
because,
thrilling, isn't it? It's that kind
yeah,
of, you get caught up into it. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it does genuinely terrify me. There's a lot of books that I can read that are like horror or like gothic. Like Rebecca, I read Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier, and I really enjoyed it. And like, it wasn't like scary, but it was tense, and like it
Mm,
was atmospheric and things like that. And that's like what I wanted from it. So, but like, I wasn't ever really scared. And like, a lot of horrors I've read Stephen King, I'm not really scared when I'm reading it. But with like Jack Ketchum and stuff, because it's like so balls to the wall. It's just it gets me because like, I feel
yeah.
like if this actually happened, I would genuinely really be terrified, and it
Yeah.
could happen as well because
Mm,
cannibalistic children and cannibalistic families and
mm.
cannibals actually, like in horror movies, are like my probably one of my fears. Like, out of all of the things, it would be like zombies and cannibals, I think,
They
for
just give me the
me.
creeps. Like,
Yeah.
there's something about it, and I don't know. Maybe it is just the kind of the animalistic nature of it. I don't know. But there's have you ever watched Supernatural, the TV series
Oh,
with?
yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
watched the first 7 seasons, I think. I'm so behind.
Oh, I'm on
So
season 9 because at that point I was like, I almost got exhausted with it. Like, I love it so much, the first 9 seasons, and then at that point I was like, I can't. And by the time
mhm.
that I like the next few seasons came out, I was like, I'm so far behind that I would have to
Yeah.
watch it all again, and then I would just reach the point where I'm exhausted again. But I think it's in like season 1 or season 2 they come across a cannibal family, and there's this whole
Oh,
thing where they like realize that, oh, they're human beings, and Dean sums it up perfectly. He's like, monsters, vampires, I can deal with them. But when it comes to real people freak me out. And I'm like, I think that's, yeah,
I
apt.
love that. Yeah, I remember that as well. It's season one, episode 15, and it's called The Benders. Because honestly,
There it is.
when I say I was obsessed, like with Supernatural, definitely like seasons 1 through 5, and then I just like kind of chugged along after that, which I
Mm,
really want to try, like, see, like, because I feel like season 7 for me was like kind of dipped, but I've heard great things about like things that have come up, and I feel like
mm,
all shows have that like dip, like where you're kind of just
yeah.
chugging along. But I need to try it. But the definitely, like, I was just too obsessed with it to begin with, and there was some genuinely scary, frightening episodes. But the
Yeah.
Benders, which is like the one about the family, that one definitely stood out. And it's what you say, it's like the animalistic nature of it. It's like, because zombies and cannibals are pretty much the same thing because they're eating people. And honestly, like, just the idea that somebody would like eat me like alive, and it's
Mm,
just like, that's like one of my genuine fears. And like, oh,
yeah.
I would hate that. I would genuinely hate that.
Yeah. So
Oh,
gross. There's
shivers.
yeah, the other one that kind of really freaked me out was the one where they are attacked by the fear ghost, the guy that was like bullied to death or whatever, and Dean like screams like, "Wow, that was scary!" like, that's like, yeah, but you're right. Like, those ones really, really freaked me out, and I used to watch it every. I think it came out every Sunday. I used to go to my friend's house same time every Sunday, and we'd watch it together. And I remember it's end of season 2 where Sam opens the Hellgate and then it just cuts out to white. I just kind of stared at the ceiling for like 20 minutes because I was like, I've got to wait to find out what happens. I
Yeah.
was broken emotionally.
Yeah. Oh my God, that was like, yeah, genuine, like, thrilling TV. And like, even at the end of season 3, when like, I mean, I don't want to spoil it for anyone in the comments as well. If like,
Oh,
but
sorry.
like, with no, that you saying that, I don't think it spoils that much. But what happens at the end of season 3
Mm,
with
mm,
Dean, like that, well, I was sitting watching that. I was like, oh my God, what's going to happen next? You know what I mean? It's like, it's just, it was just so brilliant back in the day. I really would love to rewatch it, especially there were some episodes that I think you could just watch anytime.
mm.
I think there was like a Bloody Mary episode, there was like a Wendigo episode, and there's an episode in season 2 as well about a ghost. In I don't know if it's the same one as here, but like the main character, not the main character, like the main person they have to help, the
Mm.
innocent person, she is like in the middle of the woods and she's had a car crash, and then I don't know if you remember, but like
Oh
there's like this house.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Yeah,
do
I
remember.
can't. Yeah, that was like a really fantastic episode as well, and I was like so surprised by what actually happened.
Like
And
the layers of it, because like once you
yeah,
find out about what happened, and yeah, that's again trying really hard not to spoil because that's a really good episode. But
yeah,
that's
yeah.
what I liked about it when it first started, because the first two seasons it wasn't just one kind of thing. Season 3 and 4, it was very demon heavy, and then it was very
Mm,
angel heavy, and then
mm.
it was very Leviathan heavy, and you'd have the odd episode that was something else. But the first 2.5 seasons where they have like this, and there's so much mythology that they kind of like burn through of
Oh
like
yeah.
different cultures and stuff like that. It's so cleverly done that yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely wicked. Such a
Oh
good
my
show.
God. Literally, and I do love when it's like a bit of like a monster of the week kind of thing. But as you said, like there was some genuine things that they could have definitely explored more, like lasted a bit longer, that I think would have just been fantastic. Because like along with Supernatural, like I was obsessed with that back in the day, like Charmed and Buffy. I would have said those were like my three favorite shows of all time back in the
Yeah.
day. Supernatural's like gone down like now because I haven't seen it
Mm.
in so long. But like things like Charmed and Buffy were always, but that was because like they were also a bit monster of the week kind of thing. Like
Mm.
sometimes they would have long lasting storylines, but I do love a good dip in and out kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like there's one episode of Buffy. Did you ever watch Buffy?
I'm obsessed. Absolutely
Oh,
obsessed.
good,
Like yeah.
good. Because like that was literally one of my favorites. Because Hush, I
Yep.
always end up watching it like
So
once a year.
spooky. Yeah,
Yeah,
so good. That's
it doesn't
that's the
lose
episode I
it.
want to watch. No.
Yeah,
That's the
it
episode I want
doesn't
to
lose
watch
that
for
spookiness.
Gothtober is Hush
Oh,
or Go Fish or
ooh.
Once More with Feeling, because those are my three that I just every single time. Becoming makes me cry every time. Doesn't matter how many times I've seen it. I've seen it about 30 times. I cry every single time.
Fair, fair.
Puppy every
Oh
time.
God.
Okay, which
Oh,
vampire boyfriend did you prefer though? Were you an angel
oh,
or a Spike?
oh God. And right, and this is like such a hard one because there's pros and cons to both of them. And I feel like both kind of had irredeemable qualities, but at the same time, there's like so many excuses I give them at the same
Yeah.
time. So like I did love both of them, but I would have to say in the end I went for Spike, but I
Mm.
was definitely like season two. Obviously, like I was all about the Buffy and the Angel. Like I was mad about them, absolutely mad about them.
The pining and the
Oh,
tension. Teenage Hannah was. I mean, to be fair, I think I was younger than a teen when it all came out. So I was. Again, it was a Sunday watch. Like, so I had a television in my room that my brothers weren't allowed to touch, as far as I was concerned. And on Sunday, I would just watch all of my favorite shows in one go, kind of thing. And Buffy was on about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Obsessed with Buffy and Angel to a creepy degree. I wanted my personality to be Willow. I was obsessed with becoming Willow.
oh, I love that. I wanted to be Buffy, so you could have been the Willow to my Buffy. So
It would have been perfect. It would have been absolutely perfect. Yeah.
it would have done. Oh my gosh, I miss Buffy so so much. Oh,
Do you, or you would have seen the Doppelganger episode where there's Dark Willow and Xander, and I was like,
oh. Or I could
okay,
be the Xander to your Willow. Like I don't
yeah.
care. Like, I feel like that would be a apt. But that one, and there was the top. Is that Gingerbread or Gingerland or there's? I think like there's. I try. I always love to remember episode names. So it was like there's one called no. There's one called The Wish. I think
Mhm.
that's where it happened. I think
Yeah, and then Doppelgangland is the one
Double
where
Gangland. That's
Dark
it.
Willow comes forwards. Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, no, it's not Gingerbread. Gingerbread's a different one. It's in the same
Mm.
season. It's season three. I
Yeah,
remember. No, it's all coming back to me now. Yeah, Double Gangland. That's it. I love that
yeah.
episode. Love
Such
it.
a
I
good
also love the
episode.
gingerbread episode as well, actually. There's so many episodes I love, though.
Yeah, Band Candy is another
Oh, I
really
love that one.
fantastic episode. That's
Yeah.
Giles in that episode is just sod off. Like I love him.
Yeah.
I love him so much. Anytime someone's like, "Is it weird that as an adult I'm attracted to Giles?" I'm like, "No, it makes complete sense for as an adult to be attracted to Giles."
I'm pretty sure Anthony Head was like one of the reasons why I knew I was gay. I
Mm.
think, yeah, that's when I knew, like, oh, I'm kind of attracted to the older gentleman.
Mm. That's your type.
Saucy,
Oh, makes sense.
saucy.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. Yeah, I can see it. I can
There's
see it.
Yeah, there's an underrated episode as well in season two called I think it's Killed by Death. It's the one after
The one where she's in hospital.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
terrifying. Like
Yeah,
I
that
love things like that.
genuinely shit me up, that one. It's the eyes. Like, if anything,
Yeah.
so like you're saying earlier about cannibals being the thing that really frightens you. For me, it's anything to do with eyes, and the fact that the demon thing comes. No, I can't even think about it because it makes me cringe, and I just don't like it. That's a yeah. But again, like, I think Supernatural and Buffy, one of the things that makes them really fantastic is they really lean into the horror trope of
Mm.
having some levity before you have the scary thing. So you can see in bad horror films, they don't let you laugh in the right moment, so you end up laughing when you shouldn't be laughing. So obviously, like, when Buffy, just before Buffy goes and fights the demon, she goes to drink the thing, the poison, basically, the virus that will allow her to see it. And Willow's like, no, that will kill you. And like, there's this little moment where she just doesn't understand basic science. So it's a real kind of like light moment of jokes. And then you have like the polar opposite. So have you ever seen the horror film Teeth?
No, but I've heard
Okay.
about it. That's the yeah, the
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, that one. I laughed the whole way through that film. And not in
Really?
like a I'm dead inside kind of way, but in the way that, again, the pacing is so badly done that you
Oh
end up
God.
laughing when you shouldn't. So she discovers that she has teeth downstairs when someone sexually assaults her. And that shouldn't be funny. You shouldn't be laughing at that. But the way it's cut together, there are no light levity moments. So when she attacks him, you laugh. Like, it's just yeah. So I think
Yeah.
you have to be really careful with some stuff because it's just yeah, it makes you look like a psychopath because you're laughing and you shouldn't be laughing at that.
Nah, I do kind of laugh at like really bad horror. I can't really think. I mean, there's some like really badly done ones. I've not seen teeth. Oh, there's one called Camp Blood. I don't know if you've ever heard of
I
it.
haven't seen
Oh
that
my
one.
God, I think it was probably like recorded by students or something. And I don't think so because it was like released on DVD and I somehow watched it. But that was like a killer clown in a camp. But literally at the end, like I was laughing at all the wrong moments as well. Well, not at the end, but like the clown comes up to someone and just punches her in the face and she like drops. It's supposed to be this really like the music's all tense and like
Mm.
you know what I mean? And then she just goes down like a lead balloon. And like I mean, one, the acting's terrible, but like they could have like covered that up with like the tension of like the camera work and stuff. So at the very end, sorry, like spoilers for this, but I don't think anyone wants to watch this. But the main character, she thinks she's escaped because she runs the clown over in her car, and
Mm.
then she's like laughing. She's like, ah, ha, 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 "I beat you, I beat you!" And then somehow he's in the back seat and he starts strangling her. And I'm like, how did he get from being run over to being in the back seat? That just doesn't make sense. So it
Was
was
he
like
a
a
ghost clown? Was it?
no,
No.
no,
Oh,
not at
okay.
all, not at all. It was like
Then that doesn't make
totally
any
obvious.
sense.
It doesn't. Literally, there were so many moments, and like you could see when they're trying to be tense, and like
Mm.
they amp up the music, and they have like they're supposed to have like the shots and things, but like it looked like it was recorded by a student or something. It was terrible, but so funny, so funny. Oh,
I love stuff like that. Like, yeah, it does make me feel like I'm a psychopath when I laugh at stuff like that. But my friends at school were obsessed with horror films, and we'd end up like watching them quite a lot. But I almost came desensitized. The worst one, like Saw, I don't find scary. I just find really, really gross. And the only thing that was worse was I remember we were at my house, so I couldn't leave. We were watching Saw 4, I think it is, with the scene where they fill like the pool with the pigs, with like they're putting through like a blender. It's so gross. And I had that in front of me, and then I had my best friend making out with her boyfriend right there
ew.
next to me. And I was like, I can't decide what is more
What's worse?
disgusting. Like, do you have to do that right there? Like, right there?
Yeah, oh, that's a hard call as well. Actually,
Mm-mm, yeah.
yeah.
Mm. And the thing is, if I watch that, they then feel weird. So I'm like, well, all right.
Mm. What is your favorite horror? Do you have one?
I don't know if I have a favourite. I love the Scream films, and I know they're not obviously because they're almost homages to the classics.
Hmm.
Maybe
Scream One
for
is my favorite. Scream
yeah,
One is my favorite.
it's iconic, isn't it? Like the
Hmm.
opening of it is so clever.
Yes.
Probably the Sorority, which is it's a more modern horror, but it's a lot more psychological than it is
Ooh.
it's a jump scare kind of horror. Essentially, it's a group of girls live in a sorority, and they accidentally kill one of the girls in their sorority, and then 5 years later they're all reunited when the girls that were there are being killed off one by one, and it's really dark. But I watch it for a very particular reason, and I don't want to spoil the ending for you if you do decide to watch it if you haven't seen it. But I watch it on Valentine's Day because it's very anti-relationship, and I love watching horrors on Valentine's Day because
Well, I'm bitter towards Valentine's Day, so I feel like I should start doing that. But I, for a second there, I thought you meant like sorority. There's a film called Sorority Row that I think came out like 11 years ago, and
it might
that's
be that.
I
Yeah,
think
it might be that. Yeah,
yeah.
Valentine is the other one that I
Oh, is
do.
that with Katherine Heigl? Oh, hi,
Yes,
from Grey's
yes,
Anatomy, yeah.
and David Boreanaz,
And
Angels,
oh,
just
of course,
casually in
Angel,
it.
yes, yes, of course, yes.
That's a classic. It's so 90s, that film. It's so 90s,
I
but it's
love
a really good
90s
one.
horror though. It's like literally like I know what you did last summer with Buffy and things like that. It's just like there are some really good and slasher. That's why I think Clown in a Cornfield is perfect. It's literally it read like a 90s slasher and it was so good. So good. I cannot recommend it enough.
I'm
I
gonna
loved
buy
it.
it. It's I've already decided.
It's on the
Listening to
list.
you talk about it, I was like, I need it. I need it in my
Literally.
life. Sounds so
Uh,
good.
and I think it would like there are I wouldn't say like genuinely like funny moments, but it has like characters where it's kind of they can be comedic,
Mm,
but it's like in a really endearing like horror movie character way kind of thing. Oh, and
yeah.
it's just so good. And I say Molly and Karis have come into the chat as well. Hi
Hey,
guys.
come on, say hi.
Hey my loves. Babies. If only you knew, Molly, if only you knew.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So, what's your favourite scary film, Gavin?
I would say probably Scream because I used to watch it constantly, like on a loop. I used to love the scene with Rose McGowan, like as Tatum in the garage. Like I don't know why there was like
Brutal.
it was wild, like you know what I mean. But like I watched it quite young. I did watch
Mm,
it quite young, so I was genuinely I was actually more scared of Scary Movie.
mm,
The parody that was made of it. I stayed up all night crying because of it. I was terrified from it more so than Scream. I don't know
yeah.
why, but I
It's
think
a
it was just
creepy
the parody.
film. Like, thing is,
Yeah.
I watched one of those films the other day, and I was like, "There's absolutely no way," because they were really of their era, because they had like not another
Mm,
super movie and not another
mm.
rom com or whatever it was they did. They did loads of them. They
Date
obviously did
movie, I
the
think.
date movie, that's it, and then they
Yeah.
had the vampire one, and the jokes in
Oh
it
god.
just wouldn't land today. But I feel like there's
No.
something that, because I watched them as a kid, I still
Yeah.
find some of the stuff quite funny. But yeah, that was a creepy film. That was really scary. But not
Yeah.
for the reasons they thought it was going to be
No.
scary.
No. And there was always those moments that really stuck with me as well. Because I also watched Jaws when I was like 5 or something, and the opening scene of that, I couldn't sleep for like 3 weeks. Like I had my parents up all night with me for about 3 weeks because I just couldn't sleep after that. But I do kind of like some of the older ones. I do. It's like
Mm,
Halloween and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre as well. I
yeah,
like, and even though I'm scared of them.
yeah. Oh no, but I think they are. I don't know. Again, I don't know if it's just because they're of the era and there's a nostalgia attached to it. They are genuinely terrifying. I haven't watched a film that's like a modern horror that has genuinely scared me. But I don't know if that's because the ones that have come out more recently have really like led into like the Scandi noir style, where it's a lot more psychological and a lot less. Having said that,
Mm,
I saw Parasite, which I know is it's pitched as a dark comedy, but it
mm.
has so many horror tropes in it. And there were moments where I was genuinely like, I could feel my heart racing because I was like, that's terrifying in the way that it's done.
Yeah.
That was a really, really good one, actually. They won loads of
Cool.
awards this year as well, which is fantastic.
I'll have to give that one a chance because sometimes like my mum absolutely loves horror movies. So like we'll try and watch one every now and then. But a lot of the times it's just something that's on like the Sky Cinema or like something that's on Netflix, and half the time they just do not land. We're just like,
Mm,
a few of the ones that we've watched recently have been like stinkers. Can't even
mm,
remember the name of one of them. One of them was called Open 24 Hours, I think. It's like a
yeah.
girl, she gets a new job, She thought she killed her boyfriend like years before. Sorry, I'm spoiling this, but it's rubbish. I wouldn't recommend watching it anyway. But she thought she killed her boyfriend like years before. And she starts working in a what do you call it, like a gas station, because it's like American, so it's like a gas station.
Mm,
It's open like all night long. So she has her first shift and she's left by herself, and there was like secondary plot lines that came into it that were just like I love a horror where they do have secondary plot lines, but if it's like done well and goes
mm,
into the main plot as well. This one, it tried to force the secondary plot into the main plot, and it just, oh my god, it was just so jarring and it just
mm,
didn't work. So I felt that really put me off. But the ones that we've been watching recently have just been rubbish. There's one where he makes a wish, and this weird, creepy little wish master comes. I don't know if it's like a popular one or something, but that was also just, it wasn't scary, and
mm.
uh,
No, that sucks. There's one that was came out years ago, another 90s one, just listening to you kind of like talk about her being like stuck somewhere. Did you ever watch I think it was called The Hole, where basically a group of kids, to get out of going on a school trip or going home, they find this underground bunker that you
ooh,
have to climb through a hole, and they decide to stay there,
yeah.
except it all goes horribly wrong when they get locked in, and only one of them kind of survives the experience of being locked down in this bunker. And it's really dark, it's really psychological, there are so many twists and plot twists and really dark moments, and the ending feels like you're being punched in the gut. Like, it's such a
Oh,
kind of, I really wasn't expecting that. So I
yeah.
would also definitely recommend. I'm going to double check that it is called The Hole and not something else, but I think, yeah, that one was like
Oh,
brutal.
I could do with a good horror recommendation. To be fair, that kind of reminds, well, not that particular scenario, but there's one that I love called The Descent. Don't know if you've seen that one. It
I
came out
haven't.
like
I've
in,
heard of it, but I haven't seen it.
it's so it makes you feel very claustrophobic, and but it's like so. Oh my god, there's one moment that literally does make you jump out of your skin, and like even now, even though I know it comes up, it still doesn't fail to happen. And I do kind of like jump scares every now and then as well. Like I think if they really fit in well, then great. But
Yeah.
Kareth mentions The Conjuring as well, um, which I enjoy. I do think The Conjuring. What I even like the second Conjuring as well. Actually, to be fair, I thought the second one was pretty good too. And I kind of like the Annabelle films. As I think the newest one, Annabelle Comes Home, I thought was rushed a little bit, but the one before that, not the first Annabelle, but the second Annabelle, not the third one, the second one. I think the main character, she's in a wheelchair. That one, I can't remember the name of it though. That one was pretty good as well. But oh, The Nun, I watched The Nun. Um, all right, but I am kind of scared of killer nuns. So,
Yeah.
or
Yeah,
anything kind of
that's
like,
fair.
like the religious imagery. Like I'm
Mm,
terrified of like all of that, like dark churches and priests and nuns and that kind of thing. Which is why I kind of like going back to like Anne Radcliffe. I liked the Italian so much is because some of it is set in like a convent and
mm,
things like that, and it can be quite creepy. But I do find like anything to do with like like a horror that focuses on religion or horror that focuses on like nuns or priests or things
mm.
like that, it terrifies me.
Yeah, that's fair. I guess it comes back to that human thing again, because I think I went to a very religious school, and there's just something about when a nun walks around, and then, like, I don't know, they give me the Wiggins anyway. Like, they just make me uncomfortable. But having said that, one of my favorite comedy films is Nuns on the Run, which is a hilarious film.
I
So,
have not seen that.
oh my god! So I think it's an 80s or a 70s film, and essentially these two con men have robbed a bank or done something or broken out of prison, and to stop themselves from being found, they dress up as nuns and sneak into a convent. And it's just that kind of like, yeah, 80s shenanigans kind of film.
Yeah.
It's very amusing, and it's the guy that plays Hagrid. Is one of the
Oh,
main characters. So
Robbie Coltrane.
that's it. I'm terrible with names. I'm so bad with names. But I've just found the
I,
description for The Hole. So
oh yeah.
2001. It's got Keira Knightley in it and
Ah,
Thora Birch. Thora Birch is
I
the one that was
love
in
those two.
American Sweetheart, I think it's called. But yeah. So
And
tragically mysterious. What were you
sorry,
saying?
isn't Thora Birch the Danny from Hocus Pocus as well?
I think so. Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
So, tragically mysterious deaths have occurred. English schoolgirl Liz Dunn, played by Thora Birch, knows what happened. So, psychiatrist Philippa Horwood is brought to investigate. Her friends and her the okay, her friend Martin sealed her in. Her pal Francis and the handsome classmate Mike, I can speak, I swear to God, in a bomb shelter and left them to die. Only that might not be true, as Martin claims Liz masterminded the whole plan that brought such disturbing consequences. So yeah, super super dark.
I'll say
Originally
if it's
released in
on.
South Korea. There you go.
Oh well, oh well. I'll
Yeah.
say if it's on like Netflix or like some kind of streaming service, and probably give it a watch. Actually, I'll write that down. It sounds good. It does sound
It
good.
is really good. It's really good. But it's one of those ones where like I think I discovered it at like 4 o'clock in the morning and was just like, no, that's it. We're not sleeping today. That's it's not happening. Not happening. But having said that, like I've avoided The Conjuring because when I first heard about it, I've obviously seen like clips of it since then. I thought it was going to be like Paranormal Activity, and I
Oh
fell
yeah,
asleep during Paranormal Activity, so
yeah.
didn't do it for me.
There was only one moment in Paranormal Activity I found scary, and that was when she was dragged out of bed. That was it. Paranormal Activity 2, there were a couple of more scary moments, but what that series is just a scary moment. You know, it's like it's filled with like little scary moments, and it like overall there's like nothing. You know what I mean? So like, yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of Paranormal Activity. I remember everybody was hyping it up as well when it first came out, and I was like, I don't see the hype, but I still watched them just because
Yeah,
I was at everyone else's. But I totally get that. I'm not like mad about Paranormal Activity at all.
no, that's fair enough. I didn't ask
I
earlier. Have you got a favorite Gothic novel? Just because obviously you mentioned Anne Radcliffe, but I never actually asked if you have like a favorite.
I think it probably will be The Italian. Like it's my favorite gothic novel like of all time, just because like it's like such a great. I know like sometimes in like gothic novels, like it's not the fact that a lot happens. It's just like the way it evokes emotion and like
Yeah.
the way it's depicted. But with the Italian, it does that, but a lot does happen still. It still has like a very fast going plot, and
Mm,
it's just the fact that when I like read it as well, it was definitely so different to the Mysteries of Udolpho because that's so long, but the Italian's like so much shorter, so it packed more of a punch, and it's
mm,
just so good. I really need to reread it because like, but now I'm worried because I read it for like academic reasons when I first read it. I actually read it twice because I had to read it for the dissertation, but like I'm wondering like if I read it now when I'm reading just for pleasure, like will I think the same of it? But I hope I do because I just remember loving it so much, and it was my favorite. I also really like The Monk by Matthew Lewis, but again, I'd have to reread it because I read that academically, and like
mm.
they do. There's so much that you can pull out of them, but if I just like read it for pleasure, I'm just wondering like, is there enough for me to like personally just like enjoy like on a night and just like read? But I think with the Italian, I definitely think so. I remember, oh, it had such a great opening like paragraph as well. The Italian, I remember it's like you can hear the church bells ringing or something, and there's I remember it's outside the church, and there's like these steps, and I remember it's like when the first two main characters meet as well. So it's like Elena and his name begins with a V, Valancourt or something like that. And like that's like the first chapter and stuff. But I just remember the description of like the outside of this church and the bells and the stairs to the church and stuff. It's just like it just opens it up with such beautiful imagery, and like Anne Radcliffe was always so creative in that. I would definitely
Mm.
recommend it. But like I need it re-released like in a really pretty edition because I've only got like the Oxford World Classic thing of it. I'd love it to be like, you know, Frankenstein, how that has like 500 million editions. I'd love for it to like get the same kind of treatment, but it just doesn't happen. And I want a pretty edition. Is that too much
Yeah,
to ask for?
I don't
Ugh,
think so. I think
I don't think so.
definitely.
What's your
Yeah,
favorite Gothic book?
it's a tie probably between Dracula and Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. And for Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, I feel like maybe it wins slightly because I studied it at school and then came back to it again. And like you said, like it had with that second reading, and you're pulling out so much more from it.
Yeah.
Whereas Dracula, I love the story of Dracula, but you don't need to read the first 11 chapters because it's just Jonathan Harker talking about what he's eating for lunch. And it's just a lot. Once you get to him in Romania, even from just him stepping off the boat and kind of discovering the woods and things like that, that's when for me the story starts, and then I just get drawn into it. It's so beautifully written, and so cleverly done, because it's done in small chunks. So you've got, I'm assuming you've read it, so it's in like the
I
newspaper.
haven't.
Have you not?
I'm
Oh, okay.
terrible. No.
No, that's fine. Like, I've not read the Italian, so if you don't judge me, I won't judge you.
I won't.
um,
I still judge you, but please don't judge me.
oh, okay, fine. Yeah, no, okay, that works. So they do bits where there's like recordings and things. There's like newspaper articles where there's strange happenings. So it kind of like builds up the mystery around the events, and then there's diary entries and stuff. So you're not being told a specific story. You have to kind of pick up on certain clues. And then obviously with Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, it's very similar, although it is all from Utterson's perspective. He has to pick up on all these clues, and you might pick up on additional things. But with Dracula, it creates this dramatic irony where you know what the monster is, and they haven't got a clue. They've never come across something like this before. So when Van Helsing shows up and he has all this knowledge, he's giving it to them for the first time, and they're absolutely terrified. And you're like, okay, it's going to get really exciting now, because now they have a means of beating this invincible monster. And he's already by that point taken over one of their friends. And there's a really creepy scene where there's this man he's a psychiatric patient, and essentially he catches a fly and uses a fly to catch a spider, and uses the spider to catch a bird, and uses the bird to catch a cat, and then he eats the cat.
That's like that rhyme. Like there was an old lady who swallowed a fly. Oh my
Yeah,
god!
but it's so much more twisted. Like,
I
it's
was
so
gonna say that
creepy.
in theory, like that just like is a really terrifying concept. It's
Yeah,
like,
but
oh
he does it to prove to Dracula that he can manipulate things too, and that Dracula should
wow.
take him on as like an apprentice. But it's really creepy. So there's all these things, but you like the scientists are watching him and kind of going, that's strange behavior, I wonder why he did that. And you're like, we know why he did that, because it's so cleverly done. But yeah, the first 11 chapters are essentially just Jonathan Harker giving you a menu. Like, it's just all the things
Wow.
that he ate. But yeah, I love it. It's just, I like the gothic murder mystery kind of stories, the ones that kind of make you work for it a little bit.
Mm.
You can still enjoy them. You don't have to, it's not like a comprehension thing. It's more just, yeah, here are all of the clues, let you enjoy working it out for yourself, kind of thing.
On your
Yeah,
own.
I like
Yeah. Oh my gosh, stop it. You're gonna make me want to read it like right now. I can't
that.
fit anything else in my TBR this month. So I'm like, oh, you're making me want to read it.
I'm
Stop
already
it.
having to drop books from my TBR. I'm like, that's 400 pages. It's not going to happen.
Mm.
I've got 2 weeks left. Like, it's not going to happen. So, yeah. That's why I was happy that you chose a short book, because I was like, I can finish this. That's fine.
Oh yeah, you can finish it tomorrow if you wanted.
I probably will. I probably will. But yeah, anyway, I suppose we should let people go to bed. It's getting kind of late. I could sit here for
It
another
is
hour
for
and
us, and
chat, but
yeah, it is probably for people like if they're in the UK. If anyone's in America, then or like anywhere else in the world, it'll be daytime for them still.
yeah,
I'm
that's
still getting
true.
my head around time zones.
Well, that's the thing, is I've had to keep Googling it because I just can't fathom it. There's a couple of people that have messaged me that are in Australia, so I always add the Australian one. It will be about 7:30 in the morning for them. So,
Wow, morning coffee and horror
mhm.
chat.
Love that. But yeah, well, I hope you've enjoyed yourself
Oh
chatting
yeah,
about horror stuff.
yes,
Just
yes,
chilling.
absolutely. You've taken some things out. I don't usually chat like horror and things like that, so it's like a nice change from what I've been usually doing. Nice change from like talking about kids' books. So
I was going to say, yeah, I think I get the impression from the TBRs that you put together that people know you for middle grade, but actually you read a lot of different things regardless. So
I do try to. I want to try and stay relevant. I mean, you don't get like people don't usually watch anything middle grade related. To be honest, like it's like the niche of booktube, really. Like adult books, yes, got Stephen King, everything. YA books, the most popular on booktube. Middle grade, no. So I like to try and like keep it well rounded.
does it make it easier or more difficult when you're making content? Because I guess in some respects you're not competing with anyone, so you can talk about any of the middle grades that you like because you haven't got to worry about that. But then equally, you're not watching content about the things you like either.
Yeah, and I don't really have like a lot of guidelines as well. Like, so some popular like videos and things you could probably get from like somebody who talks about YA books, or they might have some like great ideas for like video ideas for like YA books or things like that. But like middle grade, it's like I can't really get very many recommendations. Like that's the hardest part. It's like I kind of have to like sift through a lot to try and get to good. There are like great booktubers who do read middle grade, and I have gotten some like good recommendations from and stuff. But it's a lot harder because there isn't really like a hype around them. Like there's always hype around YA books, so you can like easily read it and then do a vlog on it, and then that vlog can do really well because everyone's reading that at the minute. But for middle grade, it's like it's nothing.
Mm.
It's a lot harder for like to get people into. The hardest part is getting people interested in it, which I hope. Just because I'm like so enthusiastic about it, I think that's probably the only reason. But maybe not because people genuinely do want to read middle grade. Maybe they do, but I think like I just because I'm so like enthusiastic about it. I think that's why people like sometimes give it a chance. But yeah, there's no like guidelines. There's no kind of anybody I can not exactly copy off, but take inspiration from, like who's like really big in the middle grade game, so
Yeah.
I can be like them kind of thing. So I'm just like kind of in my little corner, just like doing what I can,
Well,
dressing up and being silly.
you say little corner, but like anyone that I talk to that talks about like a middle grade recommendation is go, oh, have you seen Gavin's video on such and such? I'm like, yes. Where do you think I started? Obviously, like
Yeah,
so.
mystical there.
I wouldn't say corner. I don't think anyone's put baby in the corner niche wise. I think.
I wish
I
they
think.
would.
Oh, that's a good film. That's a good film. Anyway, we're gonna start talking about
Another,
films.
another great 80s movie as well.
Yeah,
God.
it was a golden era of films. I swear to God, I love John Hughes films. So all of the 80s John Hughes films, I could just spend all day watching those.
Remind me what he's directed.
So you've
What
got Pretty in Pink, The
mm,
Breakfast Club,
mm.
Flubber, which is a
Oh, I
90s
love
one.
Flubber though. Robin Williams.
Yeah, it's such a good film.
Yeah.
16 Candles, Weird Science. Weird Science is a weird one. That is where two
Uh,
boys make a woman from science by putting bras on their heads, and young Robert Downey Jr. is in it. And it's a very strange film, but it's very entertaining.
I'll
But
have
it's
to give
weird.
that one a watch. I haven't seen that one, weirdly.
Yeah, no, it was one of the ones I was like, oh, I love John Hughes. I should watch all of his repertoire. And I was like, oh, I didn't know about this one. And I was like, oh, now I know why I didn't know about this one. This is a weird one.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's a good one. It's a good one. But no, that's
I've
cool.
got so many good recommendations from you tonight. That's my watch list sorted. Now I just need to stop reading so I can actually watch them.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna watch a Buffy episode before I go to bed now. I've just got to decide which one it's gonna be.
Oh, God, decisions. Oh, I'll probably just listen to the soundtrack instead of Once More with Feeling and
I've
just
got it saved.
pretend I'm them. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good one. I might do once more with Felix. Oh no, I can't because everyone will be asleep, so I can't sing along.
Mime. Mime. Just
Yeah.
like, do it with feeling.
Yeah, just like go along with it. Love that.
They got the mustard out. Yeah.
It's such a good thing. Yeah, it's the bunnies. Bunnies. It must be bunnies, or maybe like no.
Oh, and yeah, honestly, icon, icon.
I watched a clip the other day where after Buffy's mum passes away and Anya says something that's like really inappropriate, and she has this really beautiful moment where she's like, I don't understand.
Yeah.
And the reason it came up was someone had said that they were using it in their teacher training to show what it's like when you're neurodivergent and you can't, people won't explain something to you because they assume that it's inherent that you'll understand. You don't talk about these things when someone's
Mm,
died. You just don't.
yeah.
So she's just like, why? And I was like, that's really, really clever. And there's things like,
Yeah.
I love watching it again and just being like, oh, there's more
Yeah.
layers.
Yeah. Oh my God. I love that speech that Anya gives. It's like, I remember as well, like, she'll never yawn, she'll never brush her hair, and like, she doesn't
Mm,
understand why. Like, why are
yeah,
mortals like this? Because she's never been mortal. She's always been immortal, and it's like this is
yeah.
new to me. That's a no, that's a I didn't realize about the whole like neurodivergent aspect of it, like being able to like explain and like nobody wanting to explain because they just assume you'll know. That's a really interesting point. That, but I love
Mm,
that episode as well. The body. Oh my God. Oh God, what a hard hitting episode! Like
I
seriously,
know.
that such an underrated show. It should have won all of the awards. Like, why didn't? Did Sarah Michelle Gellar win an Emmy for that? I don't think she won an Emmy, did she?
No, I don't think she did.
She
No.
bloody should have, at least for that episode. At least
She
for
really
that
should have.
episode.
It's just, it was the, well, what's the name of the title of the episode before when she walks in and she just says,
I was
"Mum"?
made to love you.
That was
I was
it.
made to love you, yeah. Because it's like that robot kind of thing, isn't it? Like a robot. Someone makes a robot, and that's why it's called I Was Made to Love You, because like that robot was made, and yeah, it's like
Yeah.
yeah,
It's Andrew, Warren, and Jonathan have made the robot
yeah.
because they want a girlfriend, as opposed to the other one where the guy from not 8 out of 10 cats, 8 Simple Rules, is the robot that keeps trying to find a wife and keeps bringing them home. That was a weird episode.
There were some
That's
weird ones.
but yeah, no, I can't watch a sad episode. It's gonna have to be I might go with Go Fish. That's a nice, safe, easy,
That's
entertaining
got
one.
Wentworth Miller in as well, hasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I
Mm-hmm.
love him. I love him.
When he asks Buffy to walk him home because he's scared, so good.
Oh, how do we not know he was gay?
I know. I know.
Oh, I
It's like,
love him so much. Oh, I know. I mean, at least I've still got a chance for them. I don't. Of course, I don't have a chance for them, but yeah, there was a comedic episode like this. Oh, I'm trying to think of one that really makes me. There's a lot of something. Hush makes me laugh as well. You know when she's doing the whole.
yeah, and she's like,
Yeah,
no, yeah.
yeah. Oh god, there's even the scary episodes, like what you were saying before about like horror movies. As long as they can do the comedy right, like when it's timed and stuff. Like Buffy did that so well. Trying to think about the Tabula Rasa, I think is quite a funny
That's a
episode.
good one. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a good
I think
one.
that one's a pretty funny one. I'm just thinking of what episode I can watch now as well. I might
Yeah,
watch the
yeah.
episode.
I'm just like, I feel like it needs to be. So I was doing a rewatch, and I got just to the, I think, first 3 episodes of season 3. So I just need to double check. I might just continue, but then I might just pick one from season 1 or 2. I think the one of the prom ones is quite funny. There's too many to choose. There's so many episodes and they're all fantastic. I don't think there's like a
Yeah.
bad episode, to be honest. I really like the one with the Inca Mummy. Is it Inca Mummy Girl? I think it's called, or something.
Oh, probably, is that? Oh, yeah, I think so. Is that season 2?
Season 2. Yeah,
Yeah. I think you're right. Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, I need to rewatch it now. I really want to, like, because didn't they start like remastering in it in like high definition? But were there like a lot of problems because like they made it widescreen, but you could see crew members and you could see like boom mics and all that.
yeah.
So I still want to see it, but like in better definition. I have them all on DVD. I think I watched a couple on Prime, and I think they were in high definition. But it's like now I can't watch things like because the DVDs look shocking now when I'm so used to high definition.
Mm,
It was the same with Charmed. Like I would watch Charmed all the time on DVD, and now like high definition is the thing. I can't watch my DVDs anymore.
no. How far are you along with Gilmore Girls?
Oh, I'm on season 6, episode 5 now. I think I literally started watching it September 2019, and yeah, I'm only on season 6 now. But it's funny you say that. I was still on season 5 like 2 weeks ago, but then I ended up watching like 5 or 6 episodes. This is what I do. I stop watching for like months, and then I'll watch like five
Binge.
or
Like,
six
yeah.
episodes in a row, and then again I disappear off the face of the earth again, and I don't watch it. But I do genuinely love doing that because I can just sit down and just relax and like not do anything. I love doing it, but then I do feel guilty when I do it. But sometimes I just have to do it, like just for
You
my
have
own like
to.
yeah, just for my own sanity to just sit down and relax and watch something. So I do really want to. Maybe I will watch some Gilmore Girls after. This is the thing. Like I could either I could read this, which is probably what I should be doing, so I keep on top of my TBR. But I also like there's a huge part of me where I could just like lie back and relax and watch Gilmore Girls and try and finally freaking finish it so I can watch something else. God, it's been so long. I want to
Yeah.
watch Haunting of Bly Manor as well. I really want to watch that, but I probably won't for like months.
Yeah, no, I haven't got to it yet. I think I'm 13 seasons into Criminal Minds as well, which is obviously really dark and really good. But the problem is like, it's not a problem. Again, it's a first world problem. My parents, it's their TV and their Skybox, so I
Yeah.
have to make sure they're not watching something to watch it.
Ah.
And my mum loves to, because she's an independent celebrant, so basically she does weddings but without the religious part of it. she works on the sofa in front of the television, and she's just there all day. So if I want to watch something, I have to interrupt her day to do that, or I have to wait for her to not be in the house, which is usually a Saturday or Sunday. So I end up working throughout the week and then trying to binge as much as I can
When
during
you
my,
can.
like I said, and yeah, I could just watch it on Netflix, but my laptop screen is so tiny, and I've just got so used to having a nice big television that I'm like, oh, it looks so much nicer.
You want the experience as well, because
Yeah.
there's like nothing. If you're trying to cram it onto like a little laptop or whatever, it's like it does lessen the effect a little bit. But when you can like just sit back and relax and watch it and stuff, it's like, oh, it's so good. It's definitely best to do that with like horror movies and stuff. You know, like with
Mm,
all the lights off. Rather, although saying that though, if you had like the screen close to you and like all the lights off, I guess it wouldn't be that much of a problem, and it would be close, and that might be
mm.
terrifying. But there is something rather great about watching something on like a big TV, like in the distance with all the lights off and just like kind of snuggling up
Setting
and
the
like,
scene for it. Yeah,
yeah, that's it,
yeah.
setting the scene.
Yeah,
Yeah.
plus I always feel like a student if I'm sat watching something on my laptop, because
Oh
I'm like,
yeah.
well, this is all I had, so
So if you ever miss being a student, just keep doing that, and then you're like, oh, I feel like a student again for you.
yeah. Yeah, I'll turn all the
I'm
heating
still
off.
young. Yeah, turn the heating off, freezing in. I get like a
Yeah.
sandwich from Greg's, and like that
Yeah.
can be my dinner, tea, and lunch, and all that jazz. Although we had something called Eat for Less up here, and then would be like £1 for a baguette sandwich, and would be like any filling you wanted. And I would just live off those, to be honest. It would be £3 a day, and it would be like, yeah, breakfast, lunch, and tea.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah,
I
very
like that.
good. Love it.
Yeah, super noodles. That was our thing.
Oh
There was
yeah.
there was a butcher's that did really, really nice baguettes, but they were like £4 each. So you could always tell when the student finance came in, because there'd just be a queue of students like around the block being like, finally we can afford these
What
very
a
expensive, very nice baguettes.
what a treat though.
I know.
What a treat. £4. Wow.
Things like,
God, I
so
wouldn't even pay
my
that for Greg's.
no. Oh, this the thing is, like, so where I went to uni was in Twickenham, which is right next to Richmond. So Richmond is the most expensive area in London,
Hmm.
and it means that you end up with a lot of people at the uni that live in the area. So you have a lot of posh students. Now, I know I sound like this, but Folkestone is not a posh place. The only reason I sound like this is because as a kid, I watched a lot of American television. And one day my dad came home and said, "You're not American. Stop talking like that." And I was like, okay, I'll sound like
Oh.
this instead. Like, so it kind of like went the other way. But yeah, so it means like everything was so expensive. So like a night out was so expensive. Like, even we didn't have like a local Tesco's, we had a local Waitrose. I had to drive half an hour to like a supermarket that I could afford to like.
Yeah, I'd never step on the Waitrose. That's too posh for me.
Thing is though, like the food would be exactly the same. So we've got one here, but like, so a box of Cocoa Pops at Tesco's will be like 1.89. In Waitrose it'll be 2.89, and you're like, why? It's the
Wow.
same thing. Why? Ridiculous.
Yeah,
Absolutely
fair. Oh,
ridiculous.
yeah, that is ridiculous, especially when it's like an in-store thing that's like food. The thing is, for like say like bookstores, people always like I know like in-store and Waterstones, like things can be more expensive than Amazon, but like Amazon like discount everything, and then the authors don't really get anything, and then it's like we have to like try and stay afloat, and it's like I know it's cheaper online, but please buy from from my shop, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Um, but it's totally different for like Waitrose and Tesco, I think, and like all of that, because it's like food, and it's a
Yeah.
batch kind of thingy. Like you
Yeah.
would go somewhere where it's cheaper because it's food, but you have to eat it to live, and we have to
Yeah.
buy more to live. You know, it's
Yeah.
like you can't actually afford to live. So yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I love the high street. So where I am,
Mm.
they're trying to basically turn it into like a new Margate. We've got quite a creative. It's literally called the Creative Quarter. So Robert DeHaan, that used to own Saga, which is like the over 50s insurance company, sold Saga and then put all of that money into Folkestone basically. And we've got this really stunning creative area. There are lots of like art installations. They do the triennial every year. We've got a new theatre that's been built. They're doing a 3-story skate park that's going to have like a bowling alley in it and stuff, because they want people to come to Folkestone and kind of
Mm.
just enjoy this element. And we've got a Waterstones. We used to have a massive Waterstones that was directly underneath the independent cinema, and I could spend hours in there. And then they opened a slightly smaller one and they kept the smaller one and lost the bigger one. And that for me was just devastating, because I was like, I just love spending hours in there. But it is just, I think people just need to appreciate that, yeah, okay, Amazon might feel more convenient, but actually they spend millions of pounds getting rid of the waste that they create every year. Because if you send something back to Amazon, they don't unpack it and then restock it if you don't like it. They just throw it in the bin. Like, they have billions of pounds of waste every single year. Like, it's just immoral, but it's also so convenient. So it is a
It
real
is.
kind of like
I mean,
dichotomy.
yeah, I would say like, yeah, Waterstones over Amazon, but at the same time, I still use Amazon. It is
Oh yeah,
convenient. It's like
yeah,
if I'm not already out, like if I'm just like online shopping, then fair enough. But it's like when people are like in store, like today. So like I think it was Animal Farm, and it's like £8.99. And then it was like £6.95 on Amazon, and she was like, "Oh, it's significantly cheaper on Amazon," and I was like, it's £1.05 or more, like in store. Like at least you're getting like your copy
yeah,
right here, right now. It
yeah,
won't be damaged by the postage or whatever. So it's like pristine condition. What more do you want? £1.05.
yeah,
That's the
and
only thing. Like, but like
yeah,
I don't mind like when people go to Amazon and stuff. It's just like don't say it in like a Waterstones, or don't say it
yeah,
in like an independent bookshop. It's like,
yeah.
oh, people are trying to like have a
But
living,
it's
and
it's in every industry. So, like I said,
yeah.
I used to work for my mum's wedding dress shop, and we would have brides come in and look at a dress, and it'd be, so we would buy it in for between 150 and 250 pounds, and then we would
Mm,
sell it for between 800 and £1,000, because that's the kind of markup. And not only that, you would come in, you would try on a dress, but we would order you in a brand new one, so that would cover the cost of shipping it and everything else, and we'd steam it and make sure it was pristine, and then it's to your measurements as well, so you're not just
mm.
buying off the rack. And we would get so many brides come in and say, oh well, if I order it from China it's only £30 or whatever, and we're like, no, they've used the image from this designer, but it will not be this dress. And if you order for £30, you will get £30 worth of dress, and it's not going to
Oh,
be. Or you can order through us, because we have vetted all of our suppliers, because they're held to a British standard. They're protected by an ombudsman. You won't get that ordering from China. Um, but people, I think it has become a real thing where people don't value stuff. They kind of just see like the
mm,
monetary thing. And I see that in my industry anyway, because people are like, oh well, I can write, so I might as well just do it myself. And I'm like, yeah, but you're paying me because you don't have the time and the inclination. I will get it done quicker than you. It will be spell checked better than you can do it, because you don't have the qualifications that I have, and it's one less thing for you to worry about. But if
mm.
you think you can do it, you go right ahead.
Yeah, and then they always come back for more.
Don't they just? Don't they just? It
Love
was
it
one
when
of
that happens.
Yeah. When I got Leonora to do the artwork, she was like, "Oh, you've been like the easiest client because you haven't haggled." And I was like, "No, like this is what if you tell
Yeah.
me this is what you're worth, I'm going to believe
Yeah.
you." Like, I was like, "You've got a degree in art, animation, and film. Like, I trust that you
She's
know
the
what you're
expert.
doing." Yeah. I
Yeah.
was like, "No, I'll pay you." I was like, "I might not be able to pay you all in one go. Can we do installments? Is that acceptable?" I was like, but yeah, absolutely. Because, yeah, I think working in a creative field, and I think book
Mm,
selling would definitely count. You're always going to find people that think they know better, or because either reading or writing, because it's one of the first skills that you're taught at school, everyone assumes they can do it. So then you end up with people that don't appreciate what you're doing because they think they can do it and they don't value it. Whereas
yeah.
then you come across people who know how difficult it is. Like, you will not find a single writer like shit on a book for the sake of shitting on a book. Like, they won't just be like, well, that's shit. They'll have a specific reason that they don't like it, because they know how hard it is to write it. And that's why, like,
Yeah.
when you find a bad book, you're like, how did this get published? Because I don't, there's
Yeah.
so much wrong with it. How did that happen? Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah. I totally get that. I would if I was like a proper writer, I would be worried about sharing my opinion on another book, because then I think, oh, would that writer be scorned and then start criticizing my book, or in revenge, or you know what I mean? I feel like I would stay away from all that. I feel like if I do become an author and authors start watching my videos and like my past reviews, I'm fucked. I am literally fucked. Like
Well,
seriously.
if you didn't like their book, they're probably not going to like yours because your writing style is going to be completely different. But I would argue that you are an author and you are a proper writer because you've won awards on Wattpad. People like reading your stuff. That is literally all it takes. It's mindset more than anything. And I think you've absolutely got what it would take to get published traditionally. So it would just be a case of just finishing it. But yeah, I have a similar thing. So anytime an author follows me, I'm immediately like, please don't hate my writing. Like, please don't hate it. Please don't hate whatever content I'm putting out. But I think it comes with time, and it's understanding that not everyone is going to be your target audience, which is something you'll have experienced from making YouTube videos anyway. A prime example. So there was a woman who is a fantastic writer that was on my course, but she wrote very slow, very poignant stories. It was very slow, like, to build to the narrative. The characters didn't really emote a lot. People loved her writing, it just wasn't for me. And she told me that my characters in my story were over emotional and too much was happening. I hadn't paced it correctly. And when I say she slated my writing, like, she tore it to fucking pieces. She really didn't like it.
Correctly, that was the term she used, correctly. Okay.
And I took it. I just sat there. I wrote everything down. I was like, I'm not going to take this. Like, the more she's talking at me, the more annoyed I got. And it didn't help that the story that I was writing, I've been writing for a while, and it was really important to me. It's still really important to me. So it makes it really frustrating that I can't find an agent for it, because I think it would sell really well. But she really didn't like it. And I just took it and I wrote all the feedback down. And I kind of got home and was just like, I can either sit here and think about everything she said and then put that into my writing, or I can go with my gut and my style of writing and what I enjoy reading and just take this and bin it. And you just have to kind of decide there and then, right, am I actioning this or am I just binning it? And I binned it. I love her as a person. I think she's lovely. I'm never going to take her feedback on my writing because I don't like reading what she's written. She's not my target audience. I was writing a new adult supernatural mystery. It's a murder mystery, and then, like, there's werewolves and stuff in it. Ooh. But this is the thing, is like, people that have read it have really, really enjoyed it, but I just can't find an agent for it. They just, like, I don't know what I've done wrong, but it's just not selling.
You probably haven't done anything wrong. It's just like, you seriously, like, when you're querying, you have to find the one person. Like, you could have, like, query 100 agents. You just need that one, like, that one who's interested. It's hard work, man.
Yeah, absolutely. So, but she, I was like, do I take it personally, or do I just kind of move on? I'm probably very, very unlikely to sell a book to a 60-year-old woman who's interested in historical fiction, because that's not what I'm going to write. So it's just, you end up kind of just going with that. And the authors that you will befriend, because they do like your writing, will support you to the end of the earth because they know how hard it is. So I think if you wanted to, you would absolutely smash it.
I don't know. It's the self-doubt. It helps, when things don't go to plan. It helps cushion the blow. So.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I can't remember what it is. My friend Sean was reading this book called The Great Sad, or The Big Sad, or something. And there's a bit in it where she talks about how anxiety is this really clever thing that tells you that if something good happens, it happens because it was a fluke. It's nothing you did. It was just crazy random happenstance that it should happen. But if something goes bad, then it's all your fault. And it's this idea. And I was like, oh my God, that's so true. Because like you said earlier, like, I don't really take a day off. I work all the time. If something goes horribly wrong, I will then sit and analyze what I could have done differently. But if something goes right, I'm like, oh, well, that was completely out of my control. I didn't do anything. And
You've just blown my mind. That's definitely the way I do everything, like the way I look at things. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, I learned so much tonight. Oh my God.
Oh, well, we aim to please.
Oh, you know what? All this talk now has definitely, like, made me miss writing. Instead of watching something and instead of reading tonight, I might do some writing. Who knows?
Do it. And if you want some free feedback or even just some positive reinforcement from it, you let me know.
Did you just say free?
Yeah, I did.
Thank you. I've been uploading, like, the one I've been writing, like the middle grade one, on Wattpad, but, like, as I said, I haven't written it since April. or anything like that. So it's like, it's been a while. But the initial response to it hasn't like blown up or anything, because it's like a very, again, middle grade niche, and like I haven't like promoted or even tried to. So the few people who have read it have been good so far. So I've got the first like 5 chapters, I think, on Wattpad. And that's all I've written. So I need to do that. Because if I leave it too long as well, I think I'll just end up falling out of love with writing it and then just not ever go back into it. Whereas I want to continue doing it. I miss it. I do miss it.
Yeah, well, go for it. I think it's a fantastic idea. So do it. Yeah. But yeah, no, feel free to send it to me. I'll drop you my email if you ever want to send me anything just to have a look over. Because I find that I will write like 1,000 words and I'll write them very quickly, and then I will second guess everything. So my best bet is to tell someone, I'm going to write 1,000 words. Can I send it to you? And then I have no option. Like if I just send it to you straight away and it's like, it is a rough draft, it's going to be a first draft. So just bear that in mind. And then people do, but I have been known, just as a heads up, if you do decide to send me anything, I have been known to send memes in response, and just kind of like, if I've seen something, I'm like, no, that's reminding me of this. Just bear that in mind. I'm very professional.
Oh my god, I love it. I love talking in memes. It's language. It's great.
Like GIF responses.
I love like Megan's channel so much, because she puts so many memes in her like videos, and I love it.
Like, I just love stuff like that, and I think because it's great, because it's a new way of kind of communicating how you feel, just like through mimicry, but without actually having to do any of the mimicking yourself. Like my brother and I quote stuff to each other all the time, and I find
it's hilarious. It's just, it always makes you see a crack a smile. It's like, I love it.
Yeah, it's fantastic content. She's absolutely smashed it.
100%.
Right. I mean, I know I tried to say goodbye half an hour ago, because I was like, oh, I'll let you go, and then we kept talking, because like I said, I could just sit here and chat for days. So, but I will let you go this time, and just say, because it's 11 o'clock and people will be sleepy.
I do need to sleep as well.
Okay, well, I'll definitely let you go. Well, thank you so much for joining me. This has been really good fun. I'm glad we've done no reading.
Oh yeah, same. I mean, I didn't plan on it, to be honest. I knew.
I'm here for it. Absolutely here for it. So I will wish everyone else a fantastic evening, and I will see you Wednesday for the vampire quiz night, which is going to be hilarious.
Exciting.
So I'll see you then. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.